Good sound.
Good sound.
Good sound.
Good soup. Good soup. Go.
Hi, everyone. This is Rory.
And this is Ronnie.
And welcome to Sinful
Quinnful.
Sunday.
Sunday.
The show on our podcast where we talk about Julia Quinn's novels and drink. So today we are doing book 3 in the Bridgerton series, An Offer from a Gentleman. And what are we drinking, Ronnie?
We are drinking Kettle One Botanicals and a peach and orange blossom with a hefty slash. And then it's a heftier. It's like 2.5 shots. I added some grenadine and some seltzer.
Yeah, I have some cranberry juice and
Did
seltzer.
you add the cranberry juice to mine?
I did. I put a little splash in yours.
I can taste it.
Good. I'm glad. And
Great.
What we usually do on this show when we talk about Julia Quinn, just for an extra layer of fun,
Oh, yeah.
is we play a little game called Bridgergo, where it's like bingo. We should really come up with a theme song, honestly. I feel like that would be like thematically appropriate. But
It's Ronnie and Rory. It's Rory and Ronnie.
Okay, I meant for Bridgergo in particular, but that works too. That works too.
That will not make the final cut.
Yeah, that works too. So
It's Rory and Ronnie. Are they lovers or are they not?
they are not.
They're not.
Much to the dismay of
It's
many.
way out of my league.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, this is, like she said, the show where we sit down, and today we have already had a full cocktail each. So
Yeah.
we're coming in prepared.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's only gonna get better.
We're just going to talk about Julia Quinn, and specifically this book, which is the third book, which is Rory's favorite
Oh my
book.
God, yes, it is.
Tied with the 7th book and the 2nd book. And so we're drinking. If you are over the legal age in the United States or elsewhere, please feel to join us. But again, we really can't see this because this is just an auditory medium of communication, so we really won't know. So be safe and follow the laws.
Yes, exactly. So, before we get started, and before I explain the plot, because I'm doing it today, because I'm obsessed with this book.
This is her book.
This is like one of my favorites in the series. I'm going to explain it. It's going to be great. But before we start, we have to put down a very important tile on the bingo board, which is our free space, which is hot homme de jour, because we know he's going to be spicy. Doesn't matter. You know he's going to be spicy.
Because it's Benny Baby.
Well, it's Julia Quinn, and all of her male leads are hot.
But I mean, it's Benny Baby.
And also, it's Benedict, yes.
His little.
It's Benedict Boo. And side note, the show, I love him even more. So this book,
Gosh, him in season 2, it gives me life. My heart,
everything.
my little by heart is completely full with the whole cast of Bridgerton. I just want to collect them all.
Luke Thompson is so cute. I just love him. I can't
just
wait.
need him to bite his lip while filming a video, and
And I'm
my
done.
life will be complete.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm like dead.
Yeah, I just need a yes.
Okay, so all right. No, I think he's so cute, and we'll talk about why I'm so bitter at the show at the end of my little explanation. So.
Tirade.
Yeah, but it'll probably be a tirade, and I'll be drunk enough by then where I'll say some crazy things. So we'll see. Anyway, let's get started. All right. Ready. So, where we left off.
We left off.
Yeah, so it's been a few years.
A few years, you say?
Yes, a few years since Antony, who was the main character, or the homme du jour, I would say, because really in all of the books, like the MC is a female. Even
the MC is Lady Danbury.
I wish that would be awesome. She
MC
never
is Violet
never wrote a
Bridgerton.
book about Lady Danbury, and I really feel like she
But
should.
she wrote books about her family.
Yeah, she did. There's a few books that are like spin-off books. Like one of the Bridgerton books is about Lady Danbury's grandson, and then there's another not Bridgerton book, but another Julia Quinn book where the homme du jour is like her nephew or something. So Lady Danbury's family comes up a lot, actually. But it's funny because
Does she also talk like this?
shopping her wit and her wardrobe.
Yes.
That's my favorite line in the whole fucking first season.
Show up in your
Wit and your wardrobe. It's amazing. So, where we left off, sippy. where we left off, Antony the Viscount in the second book is married to Kate.
The Viscountess.
The Viscountess.
The Viscountess.
And it's been a few years since then.
It has been a few years.
Which Lady Whistledown kind of remarks on, that it's been a while since...
A wee bit time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Has hitched.
Yeah, it's been a while since another Bridgerton has gotten married, and everybody's anxious because there's still 3 single brothers. One of whom's a teenager, so nobody cares about him. But like the other 2 are like single
little Gregory.
And sexually mature. So let's get going on them.
They got their sideburns and cuffed sleeves and everything.
Yeah, well, that's the tea on the Bridgerton boys. So actually, this book starts. By the way, you know they can hear when you play with the Scrabble tiles.
They can. Shit.
We use Scrabble tiles on our Bridgerton board because we like don't have anything else, and she's like fiddling with them. Anyway,
I'm a fiddler.
We start off with the main character, Sophie Mariah Beckett.
Dead parents.
Dead parents. Put it on the bingo board.
She's got dead parents.
She does. She does indeed have dead parents.
She has 2 dead parents.
Yeah, eventually. We're not there yet. So hold on. So the prequel,
Dead Parents,
is about Sophie. So just so you all have context, this book is a retelling of Cinderella.
Oh, which is why it's Rory's favorite.
Which, okay, I love Cinderella retellings, like, even when they're not good. I
Bonus, take a sip every time Rory says she loves Cinderella tellings. If you do that, you will be inebriated as us.
Here's the thing, though. I love Cinderella retellings, but I often know when they're bad. Like...
Yeah, this one's bad, but good.
No, I love this one.
This is a booby ripper.
It is a bodice ripper, but I will say, in terms of the plot, it actually is a
pretty good
really
bosom
good
buster, though.
Stop! I know you're making fun of me, but like, genuinely...
I love the mass-produced like paperback books that you buy in King Cullen, Target, Walmart, etc.
Yeah. Well, I will say, like, in fairness, seriously, because I actually make fun of so hard most Cinderella retellings. I
know you do.
I think
she's incredibly critical.
I think
she's a judgy bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like, I think in this one, actually, if you like say the plot, like once I'm done explaining the plot, and you're not like reading some of the, you know, clearly cheesy smut, the plot is actually a really good retelling. I love that face you just made. She just made like
did not need to know.
But yeah, I actually think it's a genuinely good retelling. It's probably one of my favorites.
It's good.
Like, unironically, I like it a lot.
And she hates irony.
I love terrible things, honestly. But
yeah.
The English major in me actually thinks it's pretty good. So,
yes.
Anyway, we meet Sophia Mariah Beckett, who is our Cinderella.
Love her.
And she is dropped off at her dad's, and he's like an earl, the Earl of Penwood. Yes, he's the Earl of Penwood.
He's a step above a Viscount.
Yes, so he technically outranks the Bridgertons.
That's how it goes in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And the lady of the house would be a countess, right?
Yes, I think so. Mm-hmm. And so he's, but she's a bastard. Her mother was a lady's maid. Yes, her mother was a lady's maid.
Did you say?
Enchanté. Yes. So her mother was a lady's maid, and she's a bastard. And so she basically gets sent to this house, and she's like the Earl's ward. Like, he never admits that he's her father,
but they all kind of know.
Even though everybody knows because they look the same. Like, they're
like, oh my gosh, that's like you with long hair and breasticles.
Yeah. not like 5 or however old she is, but okay.
No. The breasticles or like the long hair?
The breasticles, you weirdo. Like, so anyway, of course he gets remarried to the countess, the new countess.
Stepmother,
yeah, the evil stepmother, and she has 2 daughters. Although one of them,
evil stepsisters,
a la like Ever After, one of them is notably not evil. So yeah. The 3 of them,
kind of like in Cinderella, how we find out in Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, that Giselle,
and Cinderella 2, don't forget.
Yeah, but I prefer the 3rd one.
Yeah.
We found that Giselle is actually like the nice
Anastasia. I thought it was Anastasia, not
one.
Giselle. Who's Giselle? You said
it's
Giselle.
Giselle and Anastasia.
It's Drizella. So funny. It's Giselle.
You know what? This is why I need subtitles for everything.
You deaf bitch.
No, I was gonna say, fine. Drizella is actually like the one who's not nice.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Anastasia is the good one.
Yeah. So
And, yeah,
it's
continue.
very similar to like a lot of Cinderella versions do. She's so bitter right now. A lot of Cinderella versions do that actually, where like one of
a scandal.
Ooh, a scandal. Okay.
Because she's a bastard.
yes, a scandal. We'll do that.
How does a bastard?
A scandal will come up a lot actually in this
How
book.
does a bastard?
But like so
Orphan. A daughter of a whore and a nobleman.
yeah, oh my goodness. Oh, those don't exist.
No. It was Hamilton reference.
Oh, I missed that.
Continue.
Even though I know that whole rap, so I don't know how I missed that. It's like the one song from Hamilton I know.
A bastard,
Orphan
orphan, daughter of an daughter of an earl and a lady's maid.
That was good. Oh my god, somebody remixed that. So the countess's name is Araminta, which is a great name for an evil
that tells
stepmom.
you right there that she's evil.
Yeah, it's a terrible name. It's so
Anything
good.
over 4 syllables or 4 syllables, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't trust them.
Like in Ever After, her name was like Rodmilla, and I'm like, yes, perfect name for an evil stepmother.
I was kind of doing a dig at myself because my full name has 4 syllables.
Oh, were you? I mean, nobody calls you Veronica, so I feel like it doesn't count.
Oh, that was gonna be a recluse. You don't know that. You didn't hear anything. Ooh.
Nobody calls you that, so like, but her name is Araminta, and her daughters are Posy, and what's the other one? Who's the other one?
Yes.
Rosamond or something?
Yeah, it's something like
right. It's Rosamond and Posy, and Posy's the not mean one, but Posy's like wow.
Like it makes sense because like a pocket full of posies wards off evil.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
When the Black Death was going around,
I know that that's from like the Black Death, but I didn't know that's why. That's interesting.
Pocket full of posies.
I thought it was just
that
because they smelled nice.
Well, they thought that nice smelling things would keep out the fumes of the evil. So pocket full of posies was supposed to like counteract the effect.
Fun
But it
fact:
makes
those
sense.
plague masks that you see, like the ones with the beak, are not actually accurate to the time period.
Indeed.
Yeah. So
That's my little 2 cents. It makes
No,
sense.
that was cute, yeah.
Posy would be the nice one.
yeah, she's the nice one, and because she's chubby, so of course she has to be nice.
Oh my gosh.
And she's also like so she's less pretty than Rosamond. She's like not as blonde, and she's chubby, kind of like Ever After.
Wait, so would you say that Sophie is also not as attracted as Posy and Rosamund?
No, she's explicitly pretty.
Oh damn it!
Like she's the belle
I
of the
can't
ball.
put off
We'll get
main.
to that.
We can't get off. I can't mark off main characters less hot than someone else. Then
I feel
Not
like
yet.
we can because it comes up later. But
I feel like
we can because she's like a lady's maid and like
she's
people don't
like
see her
less
as
hot
attractive.
than her hot stepsisters.
Or you know what? Technically, she's not as hot as the hot version of herself. Like when Benedict sees her later, she's not as hot as when she was at the ball.
Oh god!
Wow. So anyway, of course, following in Cinderella fashion, she's overworked and all that stuff. And then her father dies. And
Dead parent.
Another dead parent. Put another towel down for dead parent. And this is the important part because this does come up later. This is actually important.
Oh my gosh.
So at the end of the epilogue, the deal was that like Araminta would get more money for keeping her till she was
Because
21.
of the will with
And-
the count who
yeah.
never like really acknowledged her, and then
No.
in death he did.
Yeah,
He was
in death, he said, like, you have to keep her till she's 21 and you'll get more money, or you can dump her and get less money,
like basically none.
Yeah,
he was
basically
like,
none.
you help her, or you make out with nothing.
So he was looking after her, in some respect. I mean, he's clearly
Post-mortem,
a douchebag,
which, come on.
yeah, he's clearly a douchebag because he never acknowledged her, but he at least was trying to help her in death, I suppose. But, and also she got a dowry.
Yes.
She got a dowry, which Araminta never tells her about.
No.
So Araminta makes Sophie think that like she took her in out of the goodness of her heart and not
When
that.
really that's not the case.
Yeah, when really that's not the case at all. And she never told Sophie she had a dowry.
Hashtag manipulation.
Okay, hashtag.
Hashtag what a bitch.
What a bitch. So you'll be saying that a lot. So, what ends up happening?
Evil relatives.
Oh yes, evil relatives. Put it on the bingo board.
Got it. Sorry.
So what ends up happening is that we also have to put daddy issues because she's like bitter at her dad the whole like.
Oh my gosh. Daddy issues.
Yeah,
No wonder she goes for a daddy Benny boy.
Oh my god, stop. That was so gross. That was so gross.
Like Daddy Benny baby.
Daddy Benny baby.
I really wish one of the Bridgerton brothers was the fourth one, so we can call him Daddy insert D name here, Daddy Dick.
Oh my god, stop. It's just Daphne.
Daddy David.
Daddy David.
Daddy Daphne. I'd still say that, though.
I mean, she kind of has, like, the upper hand in that relationship, doesn't she? But, sorry, that was
Simon,
bad.
she is your Daddy Daphne.
Yeah, Daddy Daphne. So what ends up happening is the servants kind of stand in for the fairy godmother, and they make her up, and they give her... Because it's a masquerade ball. Masquerade! Hide your face on the world. Yeah. Masquerade. Oh my god. So yeah, it's a masquerade, and they
dress her up all nice and pretty.
All nice and pretty in her grandmother's old dress.
She found an attic and an trunk and
What are you saying?
Like, it was in the attic in like a trunk.
Yeah, it's her grandmother's old dress. It's like the old countess's like.
Aren't there mice
dress
in it too?
No, it's just musty.
No, I really wish there were mice.
It's just like musty.
So come on.
It's like a, this
Gus,
is
Gus.
this is shut up. This is like 18, this is 18, 16 or something like that. So it's very Regency, but because it's masquerade, she can get away with the fact that it's like a 1700s, like it's from like,
because it's masquerade and it's camp. This is like their drag shows.
Yeah.
of the 18 10s.
So like she goes in like this, old fashioned dress, but she can get away with it, and it's silver. It's very explicitly a silver dress. And
it's a
it
silver
goes with
dress
gloves.
because she's a silver goddess.
Yes. And
she
there's
shines
two.
like, don't they say like she shines like the moon or something?
Yeah, there's something like
because
that.
there's a silver reference. I remember that.
It's they say so many times that it's a silver dress, and she's always referred to as like the lady in silver. So if she's not in a silver dress in the show, I will flip my shit.
You want to hear a separate little story? So
sure. I just choked.
It's because you're so excited.
Oh my god.
So at school, we have a bunch of cats on campus. It's kind of a problem. They all have herpes.
Stray cats, yeah.
A lot of herpes. And there's a cat that I used to go feed, and she was all black. And so we would say she was dressed in black, and we called her Lady of the Night.
Oh no!
And then
That's actually really funny.
Not
gonna lie.
Then we were like, "Oh my gosh, it's our little prostitute."
Oh, that's so mean.
So we would call her name, and we're like, "Lady of the Night, our little prostitute, come here." And she'd come trotting up for some snacks. I'm like, "Look at you, you little whore."
I can't with you. That's amazing. Okay. So there's two very important things, though, about this costume. Getting back to the subject at hand.
I'm sorry.
No, I love that. Please share more. So there's two very important things about this costume. Number one, that she cannot wear the shoes that go with it because they don't fit. So she has to borrow Araminta's shoes. And Araminta is very weird about shoes for some reason.
Oh, yeah. She's got like a foot fetish.
Yeah, she's very like particular about her shoes.
I remember that.
So she has to borrow Araminta's shoes because they're the only ones that fit.
And she goes in there after she leaves, and she's like, I got to get them back before she sees.
Exactly. So there's that. And the other thing is, the dress comes with a pair of gloves that are like stitched with the old or Countess's initials.
There we go.
And the family crest of Penwood. So those are the two very important things.
Which she technically shouldn't wear because she's not
She's
claimed.
a bastard.
She's not claimed.
Her last name isn't whatever the fuck.
Pentwood.
No, Penwood I think is like the title.
Know.
I don't remember what their actual last name is. But Gunningworth. It was Gunningworth. It was Gunningworth. So her last name isn't Gunningworth, it's Beckett because she's a nobody. So she goes, and she has to, of course, be back by midnight. By the way, it's so side note.
It's so tropey to be back by midnight. Like,
yeah,
just stay
I
out
mean, it is Cinderella.
Midnight 01. Like, come on.
I mean, it is Cinderella, so whatever. But like, I feel like that wasn't a necessary detail. But you're like, oh, beating Cinderella over your head. But what I think is hilarious, though, is that these servants are clearly like so close with her, but then after she leaves the house, which I'll explain later, like you never see them again.
Nope, they're
so
just relevant
funny.
for that one
They're
moment.
literally relevant for like that one scene.
They're like,
it's
we
so
care
funny.
about you so much.
Yeah, we
and
love
she's
you,
like,
Sophie.
We don't care about you anymore.
We
bitch.
love you, Sophie. We've
Well,
watched and raised you your whole life, and then we'll never speak to you again when you leave.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like as like they're waiting for the 21st birthday after like the ball happens, like they're running out of money.
Yeah.
So they have to let off a bunch of people, and she has to start picking up for the jobs of the servants that they can no longer have.
I don't think it's quite that they're like out of money. I think it's that they're getting kicked out of the house because the new earl, like the newest male relative, is come of age and he's trying to find a wife in London. So he kicks them out of the townhouse.
Gotcha.
And they didn't want to hire a maid because they had Sophie. So when Sophie leaves later, which we'll get to, then they start hiring all the new help because they had her to do everything.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
So you're kind of right.
Belle of the ball.
So anyway, okay, so
she's the belle of
so
the
she
ball.
gets to the
She's
ball.
The beautiful girl. She is
And
the
of course-
belle of the ball. Of Lady Danbury's ball.
Yeah, so this is actually a cute scene. So Benedict goes to dance with Penelope Featherington, to be nice.
Because he's a sweetheart. I love my Betty baby.
Yeah, I love Benedict. He's the best. So
But those little sideburns, I just want
he doesn't have sideburns. He doesn't have sideburns.
in the movie.
No, he doesn't have sideburns.
Show.
No, he doesn't. That's Anthony.
It's just like
He's just so cute. Yeah, I love like when he's high on opium. It's great. So
it's a great.
so he goes to dance with Penelope Featherington, who's dressed like a leprechaun or something, which is kind of funny. So, I mean, we can't have Julie expresses her hatred for the color yellow yet, but clearly she hates like bright green as well.
Penelope is what she hates.
I feel like Julie expresses her hatred for the color yellow should also be / Penelope. Because really, poor Penelope. So he gets distracted though because he sees the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life.
Is she wearing pink?
No.
Is she wearing orange?
Shockingly, she's wearing silver.
She's wearing silver.
So Belle of the Ball.
Is that what we're here for today?
Belle of the Ball. Put it on
She's
the bingo.
The belle of the ball.
Yeah,
Of
put it
the
on-
beautiful ball. She's the belle of the ball.
What is
Lady
the song?
Danbury's ball.
No, it's at Bridgerton House.
It's the Bridgerton's ball.
So this is how many times I've read this book that I know this. Why they're having this ball is because Antony is moving into the house. So
Yeah.
Antony got married and he was out in the country with Kate for a while. And so now like the Bridgertons and Violet are moving out of Bridgerton House.
And
because
this-
it belongs to him
And
technically.
this was the instance. This was the ball that we were hoping we would see happen
in season 2.
in the season finale of season 2.
But that didn't
When
happen.
we saw it in the trailer, there was a ball. We're like, it's just a masquerade ball.
Yeah, we were so convinced it was going to be the
with a bone.
masquerade
She's
ball,
like,
but until we realized that the show was going to fuck us over completely. But I still think the last
The
episode
show
of
really
season 3,
said, you want this? It showed us the bone. It said, you want this? Bend over. Up your ass.
yes, basically. We'll get
Like,
to that, babe.
you're
We'll
getting
get to
boned
that.
up the ass with what you wanted. They
Yeah.
gave you a tidbit and they yanked it away.
So mad. Anyway, we'll get to that. So, Belle
You're
of the
so
Ball.
mad?
Yeah.
I'm Ronnie.
Fuck up. She does this every time. I'll say, I'm hungry. She's like, I'm Ronnie. Or I'm like, I'm upset. She's like, I'm Ronnie. Shut up, you old man. She's like such a grandpa. This is so embarrassing for you. So anyway, Belle of the Ball, put it on the bingo board. Also,
She's the
a
belle of
ball
the
where the
ball.
plot advances.
Yes.
Put that on the bingo board.
Well, it does. I feel like it goes.
It does. The plot advances at
I
this
feel like
ball.
it's a standstill from there because he's like hung up.
Yeah, it's
He's
okay.
like a coat.
It still advances because this is where they meet. So I feel like it
He's
counts.
like a coat rack.
It counts. So he sees the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. And of course it's Sophie, but he doesn't know that.
You didn't say who it was.
Benedict Bridgerton.
Benny baby boy.
Benedict Bridgerton, he's number 2 and he's very very insecure about that actually.
Benedict number 2, number 1 in my heart.
Yeah, number 1 in my heart for sure.
But you know what they
Bridgerton.
say: first is the worst, second is the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Third is the one with the treasure chest. Fourth is the one with the
fucking
hairy
Colin.
chest. So Daphne, you better wax your chest.
Stop. So yeah, like it's Benedict who his big insecurity is like that he is the second and that's
He's
all
the
anybody knows
They've
him
got
as.
the heir and the spare.
Yeah, that's all anybody knows him as.
Bingo. Homme de jour has a title.
De jour has a title. Oh, look at you go.
And look at him go, and his title is The Spare.
The spare, yeah. So he's like insecure about that because people are always like, "Oh, you're a Bridgerton. You must be the second one," and he's like, "Yeah, that's me."
And they all look so alike, so they're like, oh, you're just the second one. Mm-hmm. You're just the one that I can't afford to forget.
Yeah, he's like the boring one too because Colin's supposed to be the funny one. Although I love that the show kind of made Benedict the funny one.
But they didn't. I feel like it was like kind of like Luke really just went out there.
Yeah, I literally
It
think
was
he
really
just was like
Luke.
showing up on set half drunk, like I'm here.
Where he's like, I'm ready to make a mark.
like Luke Thompson has been in like the Royal Shakespeare Company, like or something like that. Like I've seen him in Globe Theater performances on like online, and he's there just like, I'm doing this shitty Regency show. Okay, I'm here. This is a walk in the park for me. That's so funny.
Love him.
So yeah, he sees Sophie and they like chat it up, and he's like, I need to know who this woman is, because of course she's wearing a mask and she won't tell him who she is.
Why? It's a masquerade.
Why
does she not tell him? Maybe it's because
she has
a secret. Not a secret.
Oh, a secret. MC has a secret. Oh no, she's not the MC. Oh yes, she is. MC has a secret. Sorry,
Sophie is the MC.
Yeah, sorry, I confuse homme de jour and MC sometimes.
Wiki word.
Yeah, so MC has a secret. Oh, we also forgot England's most eligible bachelor, because
is he considered the most eligible bachelor?
Yeah, because in like one of the first things is they talk about how Benedict's like the one to get at the ball.
Oh yeah.
Like Lady Whistledown says.
And I got another one. Lying.
I got lying comes up a lot in this one.
I got a 2-way bingo. So I win, she loses. Ronnie's the best. Rory's the worst. Mark it on your calendars. On this day, Saturday, July 23rd at 11:19.
Means a lot to her, apparently.
I won 2 bingos before she got one.
I'm glad.
I took a bow.
We can also put a rake down on the bingo board, because Benedict.
Is he a rake?
Yes, Benedict. They're all rakes.
Believe that.
They're all rakes.
I don't want to believe it.
But they're all
Is
rakes.
He a rake with a capital R?
No, he's like a little rake.
So he's like a little hoe.
Like nobody can. Yeah, he's a little hoe. Nobody can beat Antony. Antony's the big R rake.
Antony's a rake is a rake and a hoe's and a hoe.
Yeah, Antony's like the worst one, but like I think they established all the Bridgerton brothers are rakes at one point.
Because they're the Bridgerton brothers.
Except for maybe Gregory, but like, I don't
Gregory's
know.
a child right now.
Gregory's even when Gregory's old enough.
I don't want to talk about Gregory's sexual escapades.
Well, you're going to read them when you get to the 8th
but
book.
I don't want to talk about them right now when we're referring to like grown men.
Gregory.
Yeah, child Gregory. Come on.
Sorry.
Like separate the church and state. Like,
I'm sorry, but it's true. So like, anyway, so they dance at the ball, and she obviously won't tell him her name, and they fall in love like basically at first sight, and it's actually really sweet. Like
it was sweet. I liked it.
It was a really cute scene. I'm not gonna lie. I was so mad
with the next part though.
Oh, what? When she
leaves, and then there's a huge time jump.
Oh yeah, I actually liked that because I think it makes more sense.
Because
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Hold on. Wait a second. I need to explain. So hold on. We'll get to it. So what ends up happening is she obviously flees the ball. Super cute scene that they have together, but he has her glove. So he goes to his mom and he's like, "Hey, do you know who this glove belongs to?" And she's like, "Oh, that's the Penwood crest." But she has 2 daughters, and like Violet's kind of like weirded out. She's like, "You are interested?" And she's excited because Benedict hasn't been really interested seriously in anybody before.
And aren't the 2 Penwood girls at the ball? So
yeah,
she's
they
like,
were.
Is it those 2? And he's like, No,
different thing. So like she's confused that he would like the Penwoods because she hates their mother.
No, but I mean, aren't they the 3 of them are at the ball? And
yeah, but he doesn't point them out to her.
Oh, that was my bad.
This is the day after. He's like talking to her, and he's like, and she's like, "You're really interested in like one of the Penwoods?" Because she's like, low key, I don't like Lady Penwood. I think she's really ambitious and cruel. And he's like, really?
She is ambitious and cruel. She's a big bitch.
Yeah, she is a bitch.
She's a big bitch.
Big bitch. So
she's a big bitch. A real big bitch. By the way.
Okay, MC Ronnie on the mic.
I was taking time for you to get a drink.
Thank you.
I was stalling artfully, and now we have to address it. So,
MC Ronnie on the mic.
Fucker.
So,
I need another drink.
Don't worry, we'll get there. So, yeah, so he goes to the Penwoods, and it's very clear to everyone that he's not there for them.
No.
Like, he feels weird. They know something's up, and as soon as he leaves, Lady Penwood's like, "What the fuck was that?" And she like, puts 2 and 2 together and is like,
"There's a scuff on my favorite glass slipper."
Yeah, there's like a scuff on her shoe and everything. So she puts 2 and 2 together and is like, "Sophie, you were at the ball, you like sneaky bitch." And Sophie's like,
"You little wench."
Yeah, Sophie's like, "What? What are you talking about?
I don't even know what a
I don't even know what a ball is.
I don't even know what a ball is.
I've never seen a pair of shoes. I'm poor."
Shoes? I thought they were skates.
I don't know anything.
But anyway, a dress?
Yeah,
what am I wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Shambles.
Basically, yeah. So anyway, Sophie ends up like not being able to hide it. So she's like, whatever. And so she gets fired she gets kicked out of the house because of what happened. And of course, those servants who were so helpful before didn't stand up for her once.
No, they were like, we're going to get you all dressed up, but then we're going to hide behind the scenes like freaking cowards. I feel like the mice from real Cinderella had more nerve and more balls.
Yeah, really. Like, they never come up again, didn't defend her once, just let her get kicked out of the house. And so she gets kicked out of the house and she leaves. And like, that's it.
And then Lady Penworth is like, oh shit, I need the money.
Yeah, Lady Penworth's like, oh, fuck. I still need... Well, she's already 21 by this point, Sophie. So, like, she's just living in the house, like, earning her keep, basically. But she should have gotten her dowry.
But she didn't know.
You know, but she doesn't know it exists. So, Lady Penwood already has the money from keeping Sophie, but she needs help around the house because she's been using Sophie for everything. So, she needs, like, a lady's maid and a regular maid and, like, all this other stuff.
And so doesn't she double up?
So this is a whole thing in Lady Whistledown. So like the Lady Whistledown articles that pop up like throughout the book are always about like this battle of the ladies' maids that's going on. So she'll like steal ladies' maids from other people, promising more pay and like.
And then she gives them nothing.
And then she
shit.
She gives them dog shit, and she also overworks them. So it's like just to show the audience how overworked Sophie was this whole time.
Yeah,
like that they always come crawling back, like that. And Lady Whistledown comments, does Lady Penward know what the duties of a lady's maid are? Because it's not to be the kitchen maid and the lady's maid and the housemaid. You know, like they're all different jobs.
I think that's implied because they need to pull their damn weight because they breathe my air. I have to walk past them and see them every day.
I know. I have to see their disgusting faces, and that's
they need to get
enough.
their shit together. Multitask, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't pay you shit on a stick for you to sit in shit.
Yeah. God, you're offensive to me.
Get
and
it
I feel
together,
like that's
bitch.
You know, that's justification enough. So she gets kicked out of the house. And then there's a time jump, which you were referring to, of 3 years. You're like playing with your glass. What are you doing over there? I really wish you guys could see what the fuck goes on.
It's an auditory medium. To suck, bitch.
What goes on in here when you're not looking? She's so weird with her like drinks. At least you're not eating yogurt this time. Oh my god. Yeah, so anyway, bypassing Ronnie's weird like
that sounded like R2D2.
That's what your dog sounds like?
No, that's what R2D2 sounds
Oh, R2D2. I thought you said Archie. I was like, what? R2D2. So yeah, so what happens is there's a time jump of 3 years, and Benedict never forgot the lady. Why are you looking at me like that? Yeah, Benedict never forgot the lady in silver, so he's hung up on this mystery woman. Yes, Red, Ronnie. Yes, she's in red.
Lady in red.
Lady in
Isn't that like
red.
an artist that the gay people like?
Yes, it's also a very famous song.
Girl in red.
Or Girl in Red. Yeah, Lady in Red's a song. It's like Lady in Red. Like, it's a whole thing. So,
well, she was the lady in silver.
Yeah, so he's hung up.
Who made something blue.
That was good. I'll give you that. That was good. So, like, he's been hung up on her for, like, 3 years. So he has this mentality, like, where he's thinking, like, he wants to maybe get married and settle down.
But then he keeps thinking of this bitch.
Right. And he's like, of course.
It's like intrusive thoughts 101.
Yeah, like, it's like, he's like, of course, the minute I put my ring on somebody else's finger, I'm going to run into her. You know, like...
He's like, that can't happen because I want to bone her.
Yeah, because he's, like, in love with her. And you kind of buy it, honestly. You buy it. Like, I don't know. The way that, like...
I have my own thing. We'll get to it later.
Yeah. The way that Julia Quinn writes that... Corinne.
How much vodka?
Not that much.
Enough.
So this is not an excuse. But, like, the way Julia Quinn writes that interaction at the beginning, I think, like, you get it. Like, it's really sweet. And you're like, okay, like, that's nice, you know?
Yeah,
and you indulge in the fantasy.
It was genuine.
Yeah. And you indulge in the fantasy. Like, all these books have an element of you just have to, like, believe that these people are really attracted to each other.
Like, belief.
Yeah, so it wasn't as big of a leap for me because even Anthony and Kate, like, they had more, I think, like, before their I'm in love with you phase, like, to go off of. But, I mean, Benedict and Sophie do get time together.
We'll get to that.
Which we'll get, which is great.
But this was the only book that had the trope of love at first sight. For Simon and Daphne, it was like... it was like light
attraction
enemies.
At first sight. Like they were clearly attracted
and like
to each other from
kind
the
of
beginning.
like semi enemies because they like didn't they like bantered. Whatever, that's debatable. Then there was rivals to lovers for the next one.
But I do think
the next one is friends.
I think Julia justifies it though in this book, because I think what she implies, strangely, and I don't usually like dig too deep in these books, but I do think she does sort of indicate through later events of the book that first meeting was like an infatuation, and then they have to get to know each other for it to be real.
But he wants it to be real.
Right. But I mean, like, he recognizes later, which we'll get to, that like that woman, which ironically is the same person, but he doesn't know that yet, like that woman was an infatuation and Sophie is like real love. You know, so like I think that Julia sort of purposefully has that romantic scene at the beginning, but she does acknowledge like that wasn't real. It was only after he knew her that it was real. So she does justify it.
Oh, totally.
Which I like. But anyway, so there's a time jump of like 3 years.
And there's like part 1, part 2 at this point. So
I actually really like that.
It's like 7 chapters for part 1 and like the rest is in part 2. And I remember reading it at camp and I was like, ooh.
We read a lot of books at camp.
I was like,
camp comes up a lot in this podcast.
Ooh, part 2. Yeah. I love parts.
Yeah, me too.
I think parts are like such a creative way to like jump time without it just being with the chapter, because then I can sort of like divide, because I like dividing characters between part 1 and part 2, because part 1 is this, part 2 is this. I like when there's a distinct author noted jump, so we can characterize these characters within different frames of their being.
Yeah. I get that.
I feel like it's easier to like compare between books, but still like character development like through books, but still parts are pretty good.
Because of that, and also like the format, this book felt very separate from a lot of the other Bridgerton books, weirdly.
For me, it was just because of the time jump, because like the ball happens right after Anthony and Kate get married and like move in, and like are like you said, starting to move in, and then we jump back like years later, so it feels very disjointed, because then you're thinking, not too long after like the second book, this is all happening,
right?
Or like between the end of the second book and the epilogue, they've already met. Yeah, ships passing, and we hadn't already thought that about Benedict because that hadn't been information to us available. But I really like that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So anyway, but you know what? I think the time jump, and somebody else has said this online. A couple people have, and I agree completely that I think the time jump, and also when we meet Sophie, so I'll explain in a minute, but just to make this point, when we meet Sophie again, she is thinner because she's working a job where she's not as well fed.
Crazy hours too.
Crazy hours. And she also cut her hair and sold it to a wig maker. So she's got shorter hair, and it's not pomade and powdered. So like in the for those of you who do not know, historically people used to pomade and powder their hair, which is what gave it that sort of white cast like appearance. And so she had like presumably what's described in the book as basically what would amount to be pomade and powder. So her hair looked lighter. So it's shorter, darker, she's thinner, and it's also been 3 years, and she doesn't have a mask on. So it kind of justifies a little bit more like why Prince Charming wouldn't recognize her. I just
really fucking hate those ones where like, oh my gosh, you have a mask on. Oh my gosh,
you have a mask off. It's like Clark Kent with the glasses.
Who? Where'd you come from?
No, it's like in Twisted where it's like, how'd you know it's me? It's like, you're just wearing different clothes. Like that's what, but at least in this she gives like other reasons why Benedict wouldn't recognize her. Like 3 years is a long time.
This one was done well, but I just remember thinking, oh shit, this is again thoughts before I had seen the time jump, like, oh shit, if he runs into her when they're at the Penworth estate the next day and he sees her, he's like, hi, can I be directed to your lady? I would have clocked him through the book.
I mean, again, I think
it's the stupidest shit though. Like, I hate, that's like my gripe.
I think that like what she does, I feel like more than pretty much most Cinderella retellings, it gives you a reason to believe like, he doesn't recognize her.
But it's like the girl with glasses in your classroom. Like, I always look at people with glasses. I'm like, oh, how crazy would they look without glasses? So when I see them without glasses, I'm like, huh, okay. I mean, but
people like had a hard time recognizing people without masks on after the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like. She's like taking her glasses off. I feel like
the eyes are a lot more distinct.
That's fair.
I feel like, okay, sorry,
but they were covered.
No, you could see the eyes. But my point is, like, the eyes and the mouth are the two things that really group together for me. So like with the masks and the pandemic, like I would see the eyes, but I wouldn't see the mouth. And for like a masquerade ball, because I have put a mask on myself before.
Me too, I have one.
Not in a BDSM sense.
Oh my god, I didn't think that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Just in case you were curious what we did behind
fine.
closed doors.
Oh, you're talking to them. Okay.
Yeah. We are lovers, but
stop saying that. Because people are really gonna think it.
Like, I see eyes and I see mouth, and I'm like, oh, I could see that, but like I can't. What?
Yeah.
Or like when people cut their hair and they're like, who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Again, there's a lot of things.
I know.
feel like it's all
and
the
I can
things.
see that, but I was so annoyed
It's
when I was
all
reading
the
it. I was
things
like,
combined.
if he doesn't recognize her tomorrow, I'm gonna shit a chicken.
But you know what? It does cross his mind, though, at one point in the book. It does cross his mind. Like, to give Julia Quinn credit, he does kind of say, like, she's kind of familiar, but then he says, oh, she couldn't be because he held the Lady in Silver and Sophie was like a stick and the Lady in Silver was like supple. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, it does cross his mind. And he's like, oh, her hair's too dark.
She had an ample bosom.
Yeah, an ample bosom. Yeah, like.
She
had those child
and pomade and powdered hair.
She had those childbearing hips.
She had some hips.
Mm-hmm. So he does say, like, there's just too many differences.
And I'm starting to feel it.
He does say there's too many differences, so it does cross his mind.
But then you can think of man brain.
Man brain. I don't give men credit on anything. So what happens is she's working
every
at
time
this...
something doesn't work correctly, like
man.
My mom was like,
man.
I grew up going to the grocery store and like, you know how you have to press green or yellow or red for credit?
Yeah.
I would go up and my mom was like, which one do you press? Do you press green or yellow or red? They're like, it would be different everywhere. And she would say, this was her line. She'd say, you know, a man designed this then, right? If every place is different. And all the cashiers that were women were like, yeah. And all the men who were cashiers were like, yeah. We always got like resigned. Yeah.
But
yeah, any time there's a design flaw in something that seems common sense, just blame a man. That's what my mother did.
I have to get more like tiles because we're running out. So what happens is she's working at this. Oh, so put a towel down for going to the country.
I'm gonna say longtime crush too.
Longtime crush because she never gets
yeah.
over him, and she knows who he is. She knows he's Benedict Bridgerton.
Of course she does because he's Benny Baby Boo.
Because he took his mask off and he told her, but she didn't tell him what her name was. And put one next to going to the country. So I finally got bingo twice. Now I have double bingo.
Bad for you. I've had double bingo for like
I finally got bingo
for 100 bars or whatever.
Yes. Okay. Real proud of the bingo. But so like she's working at this other rich people in the country's estate as like a lady's maid, and she keeps getting...
that doesn't count.
Yeah, she's in the country.
No, it's when you travel to the country. Get that off the board.
Well, Benedict's traveling to the country.
No.
Benedict traveled to the country to go to this party.
No.
It counts. He traveled to the country to go to this party.
No.
I'm believing it. It counts.
I think it's when both of them go to the country.
No, that's not how it works.
Yes, because that's how it had to work for Kate and Antony.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Remember? They were in the country? Like, no. They're in the country.
No, you have to go. Benedict went.
They have to go.
Fuck you, man. You were talking about Kate specifically, not Kate and Antony.
I'm talking about both of them. They both
it
need
wasn't
to go.
Both of
They're
them
not going to the country.
It wasn't both
They're
of
not
them.
going. She is in the country.
It wasn't both of them in the Viscount, which is what you're griping about.
I think that you need to remove that.
No,
and stop being a little cheater.
They go to the country.
I'm removing it.
They go to the country. You did not just put that in your mouth. She stole it off my board and put it in her mouth. Dude, I fucking can't with you. I think it counts.
Don't you dare replace that tile.
So much of this book takes place in the country. I feel like you have to say going to the country.
Oh, it's an R too.
That's funny. But so she's at this. She's quitting her job though. What are you laughing about?
Not the first time I've had an R in my mouth.
What? I hope you guys heard that. I really hope you heard that.
I muted my mic.
I know you did. I hope my mic picked it up. I really did. Anyway.
Sorry, inside joke.
Oh my god, stop. So she's... I can't with you. It's like she's literally like a child. Oh my god. So, do you need a break?
Yeah, I need a second.
She needs a break. Okay, we'll be right back.
The silver-dressed woman The silver-dressed woman. The silver-dressed woman makes my balls so blue. Hey, are you trying to procreate with your wife in the early 1800s? Well, make sure you won't end up... Oh my god. Fuck me. It is any sensible gentleman's job to make sure that when he procreates with his wife in the early 1800s that he gets both an heir and a spare, preferably no woman, because women cannot do anything for the name of the family. So get your heir, get your spare, favor your heir, ignore your spare, and they'll grow up with crippling self-image issues. So I really hope you take my advice and do that, yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, thank you for bearing with us so far in this episode. It's quite a doozy, and I'm here to pop in and promote our website. So our website is the sponsor today, the official sponsor today. Ooh, I know, how cool. It is www.stopthecoloryellow.com. Again, that's www.stopthecoloryellow.com. Our lovely Julia Quinn would be so proud of our definitely purchased and fully operational website dedicated to stoppingthecoloryellow.com. So we hope you log on, find some information about us, our friendship, our other shows. We really hope you enjoy, and we will have pages and pages and paragraphs of apologies. So thank you for sticking with us this far, and please visit our website, stopthecoloryellow.com.
Do this.
I'm not insane. And welcome back.
You're a dick. Yes, welcome back. Thank you, Ronnie.
I took a second.
I should have seen it coming.
I took a second. I am breathing now normally.
She's okay.
I'm good.
We refreshed our drinks. What did you get, Ronnie?
I got an Aviate.
I think it's the Aviation.
The Aviation. It reminds me of Take My Breath Away. Top Gun Maverick.
Okay. I just got a vodka cranberry because it was easy.
You're a basic bitch.
I love vodka cranberries.
But
I'm sorry.
That's what basic bitches order so that way they feel cooler than just ordering White Claws at a bar.
Okay,
and
but
like,
it's tasty.
I don't want a White Claw because that will make me seem too basic. Let me go with a vodka cranberry.
My cranberry addiction extends far back from my alcohol addiction.
You got a perpetual UTI or something over there?
No. You think, but no.
Well, we're knocking it out with the cranberry and the alcohol in one fell swoop.
Whoop, whoop.
I
am indulging two problems at once. So anyway, where were we? Okay, right. So
they're going to the country.
They are. At least Benedict is.
Aren't we like not even halfway done the book?
We're about we're a pretty good chunk into the book.
Oh my gosh. We did good timing my breakdown.
Yeah. We're pretty far into the book. Like a lot of the middle is just filler that I'm not going to really explain very much. So so what happens is she's quitting her job with these other people. I forget what their name is because the son keeps
suck a duck.
Yeah, well, no, they don't
keep hitting on her.
But the son keeps sexually harassing her basically.
He's like, "You want my baby? I have a title. You have short hair."
She's like, no, because Sophie has this thing. This is actually like a big part of her issue is that she doesn't want to be like her mother and be a lady's maid who has sex out of wedlock and then has a bastard. Like she doesn't want to do to a kid what was done to her.
This is what I really wish they had Plan B back in the day because she would be popping those pills with Benny Baby Boy. We would not. I mean,
we aren't much better off nowadays the way the country's going. So.
Oh my gosh! Okay, Rory? I told you right. I stole Planned Parenthood coupons for Plan B, and I'm just gonna I only stole a few of them because I thought stealing the whole entire notepad would be a bit excessive and noticeable. But it's $10 off, and I want to go around and throw them at people I think are fornicating.
Take this. Call people a whore without calling them a whore. Here you go.
I'm gonna give it to my friends. I'm gonna say,
just show up to Kush's house tomorrow to bake cheesecake for her boyfriend. Here's some Plan B.
coupon.
It's a present for you and him.
A coupon. It's not actually. It's a coupon.
It's a coupon, but
$10
still,
off.
funny.
But you know what? It's $10 off.
Tell your friends they're whores without telling them they're whores.
Give them a coupon.
Yeah, give them a Plan B coupon.
I'm a whore for coupons.
So it's like a metaphor. Like, they're a whore and you're a whore. We don't believe anyone is a whore, by the way. That was a joke.
Listen. They're a whore because they're a sexual whore. And I was like so excited for the Plan B. I was like, I gotta take this. And I just...
We want a disclaimer that we don't actually think anyone's a whore. We use that in a funny way.
I'm a whore.
You're a whore for coupons.
Oh, yeah. Give me all the coupons.
And for me, lover.
It's uncomfy when it goes the other way.
I know! I told you. See, she does it to me all the time.
Just casually sit on her lap, caress her.
It's a little weird. If somebody walked into our friendship, they'd be so confused.
But it's not weird for us because I've literally been like this the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
but it's like other people that we were friends with in college really thought that we were like
dating. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
It was our sorority days.
Well, because I do date women and she does not.
Yeah.
So it's
unfortunate.
I was cornered. This is like about our friendship, but I was cornered and they were like, are you dating Rory? I'm like, you know that she's like as straight as an arrow, right? And they're like, but like, are you guys doing anything? And I'm like,
bro, what does straight mean to you?
I'm like, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor for how I felt in the moment, but I was like, you're asking me if the sky is orange. No.
Like, no, guys, I'm sorry. No. But yeah, so that's funny. I love that happened to you. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
1 second. All right. Technical difficulty.
Oh, that sounded fine.
Yeah. Me and my butch brain fixed it. Sorry.
It sounded fine.
It said there was feedback.
Yeah, it sounded.
There was no feedback.
Yeah, it sounded.
I was
fine.
feeding the mic information that was valuable. It was a feed forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome for gracing you with your ears. And I feel like that's a probably really good segue to get back on track because we're both drunk at this point.
The mic should know better.
You signed up for this.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you didn't because you logged on to a podcast where we get drunk. So fuck you.
I was so aggressive. So anyway,
you could tell that I was doing it with a smile the whole time because it's a one-way medium.
So like,
it was with love.
Oh my god, let's get back on track, seriously. So love you. But like, so what happened was Sophie's like quitting her job and she gets like accosted by like the friend Cavender, I think his name is.
Yes. And Benny Baby Boy
is at this party.
Love of my life.
Yeah.
Peg me. Like
Benny Baby Boy, he comes up and he's like, what are you doing?
Benny Baby Blue Balls.
Benny Baby Blue Balls, yes. Baby. So he comes up and he's like, what are you doing to the lady?
And then my heart went boom boom. And then it dropped.
Like Law and Order. Dun, dun.
And then it dropped in my nether like boom boom.
Like, so yeah, he comes up and he of course saves her from like attempted gang rape, which is like a trope. But
like, I remember reading that. I was like, this is effed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's
Twilight
the early 1800s, so it's not effed up.
Yeah, you know, like he saves her from attempted gang rape, which is like the most fanficky trope, but I eat it up every time. So
it is.
So I'm okay with it.
I always get hot for someone who saves me.
We're like, oh my god, a gentleman. And again,
let me just fall into your arms.
So yeah, especially because she's a lady's maid, like this probably happened a lot back in the day. So, you know, it's kind of believable when it's in the 1800s. I mean, not that it's not believable now, but so he saves her and he has no idea who she is and she knows exactly who he is.
She's like, oh my gosh, not the man of my dreams, literally saving me and solidifying his stance as the man of my dreams.
Yeah, she's like, oof, if I was whipped before, I'm like completely on the hook now.
She said, were you good?
Yeah, basically she's like, oof. But she's like upset because she realizes he doesn't. She's like waiting for him to recognize her and he like doesn't.
She's like,
yeah, she's just sitting there like all sad and
blink.
Yeah.
And he's like,
what's up? You good?
Like, madam, are you okay?
she's
like blink. And he's like, you're sexy.
He's like, I'm oddly attracted to you, but you're just a lady's maid,
but
so I don't care.
But I want to put my dick in you.
But we'll save that. So,
but I'm also a rick.
I'm also
so
a rick.
That's okay.
Yeah, so like she but he offers to like take her to his cottage in the country.
Now they can go to the country.
Thank you. Now they can go to the country.
That's the one that was in my mouth.
I know, and I touched it anyway. But they go to his house in the country called, ironically, it's called, what? She turned around. I don't know what she said. We're just going to ignore it because... Stop! Oh my god, this book is sexually charged enough without your help. So, like, they go to the country to his house, which is called, ironically, like, My Cottage, which I thought was funny.
It's like the Dude Ranch.
Yeah, it's basically, it's pretty funny. So he's like, hey, come with me to the cottage. She just almost, like, choked on her ice.
No, it was frozen and then it fell on me because I don't have a straw. And I know everyone knows that feeling when you're drinking something without a straw and the ice is stuck in an upright position and you're like, I'm just waiting for it to fall. And then it falls and then it scares the living shit out of you because then you get ice on your nose.
I love how most of this review I'm trying to explain the plot and you're just going off on these random tangents about random
What did
shit.
you expect? Like, what did you expect?
I didn't really expect much, to be honest. So,
you expected this.
Yeah, so,
Expect the expected with me. I'm not
so
that spontaneous.
So they go to My Cottage, and,
he's like, but I'll make it yours.
Yeah. The whole time, she's waiting for him to recognize her. She's like, why don't you recognize me? And she gets really sad because she realizes, like, he's just not going to, which, like, makes her feel really sad that, like, maybe that night didn't mean as much to him as it meant to her. And then it starts raining. And they're in, like, an open...
metaphor for God's tears, like, raining down on me.
Tears. Yeah, he's like...
I'm reading this, I'm like...
Or, like, a metaphor for, like, Sophie's, like, wet-ass pussy or something.
He doesn't recognize her. And then God's like, I got you.
It's also probably a metaphor for her pussy, because she's, like... But, like...
Holy shit.
That made you uncomfortable. But, like, she,
Moving along, we're segueing along.
The appropriate shit you say, and then when I say it, you're like, ooh, and I'm like, dude.
Because it doesn't go through my brain.
Oh my god.
I can kind of, like, prepare myself for the reaction that I'm going to have when I make stuff.
Well,
continue.
You're not the only one. It could be weird. So,
that's my brand.
So, like, they get to, it's raining, and it's raining, it's pouring, and they get to My Cottage, and they go inside and nobody's home, even though Benedict said that, like, the Crabtrees who, like, run the estate while he's not there will be home, but they're not for some reason, which is the big bummer. So Sophie has to take care of him because he starts, like, being sick because he was getting over a cold or something like that, and this just made it worse. So he's really sick. Yeah, it's so cute.
Nursing back to health.
So we're gonna do for forced proximity because that put it on the bingo board because that becomes
how sexy.
Yeah, a big thing. Also, I think we should do homme du jour has a secret. I feel like it counts because the whole time he's with Sophie, he's thinking about this woman and he never tells her about.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
You don't think it counts?
Nope.
Okay, fine.
It's not something that's relevant to the conversation, so I don't see.
Not yet, but it comes up in a minute.
No, we'll find out later when you mention it. You don't preemptively put tiles down. You already lost.
That's why I don't care. So,
but I was gonna say the hottest thing is when someone's hacking up a storm and you're like, "I got you, baby.
I got you, baby." Yeah. So Sophie has to take care of him while he's all sick, and which she does. And she's all adamant about, like, not being treated like a guest because she's a servant. So she's, like, going to the servants' quarters, and he's like, "No, you're a guest," which is kind of sweet because she's being treated, like, with respect.
Benny baby.
Yeah.
If they don't do this in the fucking, like,
in the show, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Chicken.
I'm gonna be so mad.
A whole live ass chicken is just gonna come out my anus.
Well, because you know what? Side note,
I'll flip my shit.
Yeah,
and it'll turn into a chicken.
Because and it will turn into a chicken.
I'm like, ah!
Yeah, it will. Your shit will turn into a chicken. Because side note, we'll get to it more later, but, like, I think it's important to mention that Benedict's arc in the show is very much like the male counterpart to Eloise, where it's like he's not conforming to society. So I feel like in the book it was sweet, but in the show, based on what they've set up and how they've characterized him, it'll be so much more powerful that he's, like, not treating her like a servant.
But I also feel like they already set this up for season potentially 3 to be his, and then they just didn't.
I know. I'm
They like
so
had
mad.
the arc. They had it.
They
going.
did. It was
they
perfectly
literally
fine.
had the arc, and then they said we're gonna expand it another season. So I feel like in order for the arc to maintain, he's got to do something shit in the first few episodes, and then he has to re-arc, which just makes him seem like an unreliable character at that point.
Which
you know
is
what I
so
mean?
upsetting. And I'll get to my like opinions on the season a little bit later because I have a lot to say. But I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
So
We're talking about our king, our lover, Benny Baby Boy.
Yeah.
Continue.
I love Benny Baby
He won't
Boy.
let her treat herself like a servant because he wants her to value herself.
It's so sweet. It's so cute. And like, so she's like, oh, ooh, this is the first time in my life I've been treated with respect. So like, so the Crabtrees come home like the next morning and they're like, who the fuck are you? And she's like, who the fuck are you? And it's like, oh, we work for him. And he's like, yeah. So, oh, and while she's treating him while they're sick, this is a funny scene. He was like flailing around in his sleep. This is such a romance novel scene. It was so funny to me.
Is it the same bed trope?
No, it's like
Same room
he's
trope?
flailing around in his sleep and he's clearly dreaming and he's like, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me in his sleep.
Not the talking in the sleep.
And so she kind of
trope.
is like, why not?
Holy shit.
And
Let me try
so
that again.
she-
Not the talking in the sleep trope.
Yeah, so he's talking
That
in
came
his
out
sleep.
like talking in the sleep
He's
trope.
clearly kind of delirious, and so she does like give him a kiss to calm him down, and then
A scandal.
And then a scandal. Put another scandal. Which some people would find questionable. I think given the circumstances it was fine because it wasn't like he did, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, okay, and she just sort of gives him a quick peck to, like, calm him down. So I think it was fine. But then he opens his eyes and he's like, not you. And she's like, well, I'm all you've got, so.
And then you find out that later it was actually her that he wanted, but he just wanted the different version of her.
He was dreaming about the woman in silver, which I thought that was so
woman in
funny. Because he straight up says, like, not you. And I was like, that's so funny. Oh,
I want that on a
great.
shirt. Not you.
Yes, she's like, ugh. So she's kind of upset. She's like,
Oh, I've been dreaming about you.
Yeah, she's like, oh. It's like heart crushed. It's like in The Simpsons, you can actually hear when his heart cracks in half. That's it. So the Crabtrees come back, and they're like, Sophie's doing like servanty work while Benedict. What the fuck is wrong with me? While Benedict is getting better, and so they're reading poetry together. She's giving me this like look like, they're reading poetry together. And, this was a cool, like, actually line in the second season that I really appreciated because if you guys remember, if you watched the second season of Bridgerton.
I don't remember anything.
Anthony's asking Benedict his opinion on poetry. And Benedict says, like, anything but, like, Byron's drivel or something like that. And that's, like, a line from the book where, like, she says, Byron or Blake when they're reading poetry.
And
he's like, not Byron. Yeah, he's like Blake because I
can't stand Byron.
Yeah, because he's like, he can't stand Byron's like romantic drivel, which I thought was a cool like nod to the book. Let's see, they stick with it, but so they read poetry together, and then Benedict sort of realizes the fuck out of nowhere that he like thinks Sophie's really attractive.
He's like, do. Oh!
Yeah, he's like,
an attractive woman in my vicinity.
He's like, wait, I'm in the right headspace. I'm not sick anymore.
Do I find this woman alluring?
Beguiling?
Am I
She's
bemused?
Yeah.
Am I bemused?
He's like, wait, is she like hot? So
the answer is yes, but not hotter than her sisters, apparently.
Than herself. So he's like, wait, she's hot. And so he's getting like a little uncomfortable. So he's like,
He's like, damn it, I can't be attracted to two different women at once.
Well, he's sort of like embarrassed because he feels like a predator if he's attracted to her.
He's like, I took you under my wing. Now I take you under the sheets.
Like he says, stop. So he says pretty explicitly in the book, he's like, he feels kind of bad about it because he hates those guys who like, take advantage
Save
of
a woman to then like, it's like the white knighting.
No, it's not even that because he's like, a man of his time. It's not even the white knighting that bothers him, which I've accepted in all the books that all of the men are like this. But like what his issue is that he thinks it's inappropriate.
Creepy sense is what I mean.
Yeah, like he doesn't want to be like Cavender where he's like chasing after a lady's maid and making her uncomfortable. She's like, Ronnie's like burping all over the place. He doesn't want to like make her uncomfortable.
It was 2 burps and one got stuck in the throat, so it seemed more like 20.
But he doesn't want to abuse his power. He doesn't want to abuse his position. He doesn't want to like make her uncomfortable that
because he's a
attracted
Benny
to her.
baby boy.
Because he's Benny baby boy.
Benny baby BOI.
So he like kind of finds an excuse to get rid of her, and she's like, oh, whatever. And so he like jumps out the window and like goes and runs to the lake, and it's like October or something, and he's like it's
I need
cold.
to cool down.
Yeah, it's like a cold lake, or no, it's like in the spring before it gets warm, and like it's
one of
cold.
the most romancy tropes. Like, I cannot be in the same room as you because I cannot physically contain myself because I am a man.
Yeah, I love it though. I fucking love it. I think it's everything. I was here for it.
I just want people to leave the room when I enter because I don't want to see them.
Yeah, I relate.
Like, come on.
I'd like to pretend people leave the room when I'm there because of that reason, but you know.
Because they're attracted to you?
Yeah, I like to pretend
I don't even care. I just want people to leave the room when I enter. That's what I mean. I don't even care if it's for the attraction. I just don't want them there. I just don't want them there.
Oh my god, just to go away.
If they just went away, that would alleviate so many of my issues.
That's the solution to all your problems. People just went away.
And even more so, I want them to like have a line in the ground, like
we don't cross.
Like
we
a
don't cross.
skid mark when like they leave just because of the
skid mark. Oh my god.
Because of the attraction, like they leave so fast. They leave like a line in the carpet.
Yeah, like the
But then
Roadrunner,
like normally they'd just leave, but if they left because they found me alluring, they'd like leave a mark. I'm like, oh, he left a trail.
So he leaves.
Like a snail trail.
So, a snail trail. Gary the snail. So like he leaves and he goes to like take a cold swim in the lake because he needs it
to refresh.
Because he's so attracted to her. So she goes for a walk. Sophie, coincidentally, goes for a walk. She's like, oh, that's weird. He's like not in his room and nobody knows where the fuck he is. So I'm just gonna go for a little stroll. And she stumbles upon him naked in the lake. Wow, wow, wow.
She's like, oh, God.
Yeah, she's like,
Benna, what that dick do?
You're so stupid. That was so
I've had
funny.
that planned for a while.
Did you? Yeah. Benna, what that dick do? I hate you. Oh my god, that's so funny. I can't. Yeah, so she's there, and it's like she sees him in the lake, and it's all of a sudden it's like.
She's like, a male penis? I'm a virgin.
Oh yeah, put a towel down. She's a virgin, so she's.
Like, what is this pokey thing?
Yeah, like not only is she attracted to him,
that's like throbbing.
Not only is she attracted to him, but she's like also kind of curious what he looks like.
She's like, take my breath away.
So she's like low key spying on him, and he kind of senses that somebody's in the bushes.
He's like, let me give him a show,
and he knows who it is. And he's like, Sophie, and so she's caught. And then he like gets up and
this is all within like the first few days of them knowing each other too.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually. But like all of the Bridgerton books kind of take place within a really short time frame. But like you just kind of have to roll with it.
I'm rolling with it. I'm not complaining. I'm just making an observation for the podcast.
I'm just telling the viewers because I know some of them will probably complain. So
if anyone complains, I will reach through your computer screens like Pennywise from It.
Through the projector, yeah.
Through the projector.
Even you didn't know what the fuck that was. Oh my god, even she had a look that was like, what did I just say? That was great.
Oh, shit.
Dude, that was so good.
Through the projector.
Okay. So like, he gets up.
I have to sorry.
What?
At work, I had to tell people to look at their reflection.
Yeah.
In the mirror.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever heard me say that word, but for me it comes out myrrh. I'm like, stand in the mirror and
stand in the mirror.
I'll come through the projector, and if I can't find it, I'll do the mirror.
I'll do the mirror.
Mama's
gonna be mad.
Moving on, I'm so sorry.
So like,
mea culpa.
Oh my god, stop. So like, he gets out, and she's like not looking, obviously her back's turned, and he like puts his clothes on, and then they have like a moment, and then they start making out.
Like, your buttons aren't fully buttoned.
Yeah, she's like, ugh, and he's like, ugh. And so like they start making out.
Of course they do.
And she's like super into it, and he's like super into it.
A
scandal,
because a kiss could ruin.
Yeah, a scandal. And so she pulls away before they can.
She pulls out of the kiss.
You were real proud of yourself for that one. Like, she pulls away, and she's like,
out of the embrace.
Benedict. Yeah, she's like, Benedict, I can't do this. I can't. And he's like,
why?
Like, why?
He's like, you can be my whore. I have money.
Well, what she says is like, you want me to be your mistress. And he's like, fine. Yeah, I want you to be my mistress. Because he's like offering her. But that's the thing. He can't marry her because as far as he knows, she's just a lady's maid. And like and in the show, they establish his arc as being more like, challenging society, which I really like because then it kind of justifies like what happens in the book. But in the book, we don't know this about Benedict, so it's a little bit less like, oh, why is this a problem for him?
Which is again why they set it up so beautifully in season 2 for it to be season 3.
Yeah, I agree completely. But so he can't marry her, so he's like thinking, as any man in his position in that day and age would do, is he's like trying to be more respectable about it. He doesn't want to just fuck her and leave her because like anybody,
because he actually does
care about
her. Like she literally nursed him back to health, and sure, he's a man, so he thinks with his nether regions. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about her.
Right. So he is trying to be nice about it. Like when he says mistress, he doesn't mean like
in the traditional sense, like he would want her to be involved and like around and like
right, like it's not like give her a place to live.
It's not like the pump and dump kind of thing where you go to them 2 times a night or like whatever. It's like he wants a relationship with her, but society won't permit that relationship to actually be acceptable.
Like nobody would acknowledge her. Their marriage wouldn't even seem like legitimate in the eyes of society. So it's like, what's the point? So he's offering her basically everything he would offer a wife. He just can't marry her. But Sophie doesn't want to be,
because she doesn't want to be put in the same position that her mother was.
Right. She doesn't want to have any bastard children. It was really like, because she does consider it. She does consider it for a second. She's like, this seems like a really nice life, but she doesn't want to subject her children to what she went through.
He's holding up for a hero in the form of a girl in the light silver dress that sparkles in the light, and it's gonna be better than life.
Did you like make this up before you got here? I feel like you did.
He's holding out for the woman.
Yeah, so she does say, like, what about your wife? And he's like, I don't have a wife. And she's like, ever? And he's like, shit. Because...
Damn it, I forgot about that.
Because the woman in silver crosses his mind.
The lady in the silver dress.
Which, so she kind of rejects his proposal, and he gets kind of, like, upset. Because...
Oh, butthurt, like, oh, man, she don't want to fuck me.
Well, Julia makes clear, I do appreciate this, because he doesn't...
extrapolating, but yes.
No, I know what you're saying. Like,
is that being an asshole?
No, you were being funny,
Look at the definition of asshole, and you'll see a picture of my face.
There she is, Ronnie.
There she blows. There she speaks. Why did she...
There she blows. My God. But like,
it blows something.
No, I know you're being funny, but actually I do appreciate that Julia, like, you see, like, oh my God, did you just say that? I just registered that. I hate you. So
he wishes.
Yeah, he really does.
He really does.
So, but Julia,
I wonder what our merch would be. Would it be just like a bunch of really horrible innuendos?
I feel like it should be. That's up to us, though. We need to go through it and see.
You feel like Julia.
Everybody, tell us what your favorite line so far. We'll put it on merch. So I feel like Julia does this really well, where like sometimes I get so irritated by like this like man being mad at the female love interest thing, like in some romance novels, but I think in this book Julia handles it well, because you can tell what he's upset about is that he's like hurt, like his sort of pride is wounded, like he likes her a lot, and it seems to him, because she won't tell him why, like she doesn't say straight up, I won't have, until later. At this point in time when he's mad at her, it makes sense, because she doesn't tell him why, she just says no.
I feel like a lot of it also is he's not used to
rejection,
just because, not in the sense of like he's not used to people saying no, but like because that sounds like really hefty in our day and age, but he's just not used to people not wanting to be around him.
Right.
He's used to the pomp and the merriment and the ball and the people throwing themselves at him, and with someone who obviously wants to throw themselves at him, like he can see that, it's like he's not used to it.
Yeah, he's confused. And even Violet says to him later, you live like a really charmed life, like you don't understand, you know, like this sort of other side of the world. And he's like, that's fair. But he's more mad because
baby boy.
Yeah, but he's more mad because he's so hurt because he likes her so much. He's like so hurt that she doesn't like him back. That's what he thinks anyway. And also the other reason he's kind of upset is because she just says she's going to straight up leave, and he's like concerned about her. He's like, where are you going to go? Like,
and
you have no money.
I don't know, but I'm going to go. Maybe I'll sell like my skin to like a Frankenstein guy.
Yeah,
I already sold my hair.
No plan. She has no plan, and he's like, "What are you doing? Like, I'm not gonna make you uncomfortable." Because he says to her, like, "You do know you can stay here just because now things are a little weird because we both just made out.
We just schmocked her lips.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be like Cavender and chase you around and make you uncomfortable.
Schmackery.
Yeah,
we locked them.
We locked lips.
Our
yeah, but he's basically
orifices
have intertwined. Yeah, but he does kind of say like, you don't have to leave just because that happened.
Yeah, and
he's mad at her that she thinks she has to.
He's also mad. I feel like this is where it can come into really. He's mad at society that they can't accommodate for her without it being weird. Right, exactly.
So I feel like, you know, the way that it's handled, it's like in that satisfying way for me, because I like shitty tropes as much as the next person. Like when I read romance novels, I love those kind of tropes, but
because you hate yourself. We've already established this last episode.
I said this last time.
No, I said it last time.
Oh, did you say it last time?
I said it last time. I feel like in order to like these books, you kind of have to hate yourself.
Oh yes, and I agreed with you. So that's completely.
You're an anti-feminist if you like these books.
No, you're not. Like, it's just
only a little bit.
It's a fantasy.
Only a little
it's
bit.
a fantasy. So I like these tropes, but the feminist in me like can't indulge in all of them if they're not done right.
But this is done right.
It
was done tastefully.
Right. It doesn't
and very
feel
progressively
like
for the time, especially coming off of like. This is the third book.
Yeah.
So Julia was probably still getting her jam. Mm-hmm. But coming off of the first book, every book from here has been a plus.
Yeah, I agree. So I think it's like, it was great. I mean, obviously, it's not flawless. Like, I don't want you to think, like, I think that every single romance novel, especially written about this time period, always has a level of, like, sexism that you can't avoid, but you just choose
That's what makes it sexy.
But that's kind of what makes it sexy. I'm sorry.
Like, I want to have no control.
Yeah.
And then you're on the front lines with the Bannisters, like, raise our wage.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. We need equal wage, but sometimes I like to be put in my place. Give me the domestic bliss that I knew that my loins require.
Well, that's the fantasy, right? So,
it is.
So at least this one makes me feel less guilty about my fantasy because she handles it well.
She does.
So what happens is
I actually don't hate women. I would consider myself a feminist, but I also like being degraded.
Stop. I think that's for different reasons. I don't think it's because you're a woman.
That's my degradation.
I think that's for completely different reasons, but we won't go there. So. So he basically kind of blackmails her because she's so dead set on leaving and he doesn't think it's safe. And in all fairness, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
She's being kind of stupid.
A skinny ass woman roaming the countryside on her own with no hair to protect her from the harsh March winds.
Well, especially because she just almost got gang raped, and he's like, from his perspective, I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Like, she's an attractive like piece of ass. Like,
she's not safe.
She could be gang raped again. Like,
yeah, you know. So he knows she has nowhere to go, and she's just kind of being silly where she's like determined to leave, mostly because she's too attracted to him and she knows that he'll wear her down eventually and she doesn't trust herself, so that's why she wants to leave, but she won't tell him that. She's
establishing clear boundaries. Go her.
Yeah, I mean, good for her, but at the same time it's like you're making a poor decision because she was going out into the world without any like.
But she's under the presumption that he's just a capital R rake and will keep pestering her.
That's true. She doesn't realize that he has genuine feelings for her. That's actually true.
As
you're
Sophie,
totally right.
Instead of the lady in the silver dress.
Right. She doesn't think that his intentions are as pure as they actually are.
Jinx.
Pure. Oh my God.
Look at us go.
I know.
This is what happens when lovers live together. They say the same damn things.
Yes.
Speaking of living together, and speaking of houses, and speaking of rooms and houses, and speaking of things that you do in rooms, I really have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Go to the bathroom. Pause. Second break. Sorry.
Sorry. All right.
And we're back. Jinx. So anyway, she got more fucking yogurt. Fuck you. Stop eating yogurt during our podcast. I don't know why this is a thing for you.
I just love yogurt. And I also love how blissfully unaware you were. I carried this down with my drink.
Oh, God.
I got a refill.
Ronnie. She did, but she did bring her fucking yogurt.
It's a good yogurt.
Oh,
Leave me alone.
You heard her open it, too. Wow.
Stop talking.
You just want me to stop talking about the yogurt, and I won't.
Yeah. I mean, like, stop talking about my yogurt addiction. It's Greek yogurt. Do you want to... Can I tell what brand it is?
We're not sponsored, but
we're not sponsored. It is Calypso Toasted Coconut, and it is made from a... What would you call this material?
Ceramic.
No. Brick.
Terracotta.
Terracotta.
She was like, yes. Okay, enjoy your yogurt. I also like coconut yogurt, so...
Oh, it has little chunks in it.
So weird. So anyway, what ends up happening is that... Oh, this is the scene before she tries to leave, and he's like, bro, you're not leaving because there's no way I'm going to let you venture out. Yeah.
Don't leave.
Yeah. He's like...
I love you. No,
he doesn't say that. Yet. But he's like, there's no way I'm going to let you just venture out into the world with nothing. That's crazy. But he does realize in that moment... Because he kind of offers to her again, like, why don't you want to be my mistress? Like, what's the problem? She kind of has, like, a look in her eyes or something that she says, and he's like, you're illegitimate. Like, he realizes...
He's like, oh, look at me, Benny Babe with the Detective Street. You might as well call me from Benedict from Baker Street.
Benedict from Baker Street. Yeah, like, actually, that's a characteristic of Benedict that's really interesting in the book, that he's, like, really perceptive. Is like a thing with him, which I thought was interesting. But he does sort of realize that, oh, she's illegitimate, and she's like, oh, fuck. And he's like, you are. Like, he realizes he's right. And he thinks, like, that because she's illegitimate is the reason why she doesn't want to be his mistress. And he's like, I don't care. And she's like, you don't understand anything. Blech. So she still won't really, like, explain to him what her deal is and, like, why she doesn't.
Like she needs another tile on her. She has a secret. Because
yeah, I feel like
at the point of saying I'm illegitimate could have been a perfect time to say.
Yeah, I know, to tell him what her fucking deal was, but she doesn't want to tell anyone for some reason.
But it could have been the perfect excuse to, like, leave. She's like, you don't even know who I am. I'm not dealing with this. I am illegitimate. I'm the illegitimate shut up. Illegitimate daughter of Pennywise.
So, yeah.
And I went to the masquerade ball, and I danced with you, and you don't even remember who I am? Are you that thick and imperceptive that you don't recognize me? Mm-hmm. And then he'd be like, oh. She's like, bye.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
I think, the reason why she didn't decide, I forgot to mention this, the reason why she didn't decide to tell him who she was because she was worried, which ended up happening anyway, ironically, but she didn't want to tell him because she was worried that he would do exactly what he ends up doing and ask her to be his mistress, and, like, she would have a hard time saying no to that. So she didn't want to tell him because it wouldn't change anything.
Literally now she's at an impasse.
Yeah, she's in a really kind of hard place.
She could have told him.
She really could have. It's so funny how many times in this book she really could have just told him the truth, but you're like, eh.
Especially when her worst fears came true, and she's like, well, we're already there. I'm the lady in red. I mean, silver.
I'm the lady in red. So she's like, you don't know anything, I'm leaving. And then so he basically, like, blackmails her into, like, coming back to London with him so she can get a job in his mother's household, because he doesn't want to, like, let her go roam the streets with nothing.
I fucking love this part.
Yeah, and so he basically says, if you don't come with me, I'm going to tell the police that you stole from me. And she's like, you wouldn't dare. And he's like, yes, I would.
You stole my heart.
You stole my heart and my wallet. And, like, so she's like, fine. And so he says, like, to himself, like, I can live with you hating me, I just can't live without you, kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, you know, I feel like some people wouldn't be into it. I buy it. I'm okay with it. I think it's sweet. But, like, so she has, like, her eyes closed eating this yogurt. You're really into this fucking yogurt.
I love this fucking yogurt.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, so they go to London. And he gets her a job with his mother. So we're back in London. Mm-hmm. And
Grosvenor Square.
Well, they're not in Grosvenor Square anymore, I don't think, because they moved. Because Anthony lives in Bridgerton House now, and Violet's moved, so she's in a new house.
I was referencing the musical, but yeah.
Oh, the music. Grosvenor Square. Yes, the musical. The musical is awesome, by the way.
Love it. Barlow and Beer, you won't watch this.
Such a shame.
Congratulations on winning your Tony.
Yeah, that's amazing. Such a shame it's based on the first book. Because the first book's like the worst fucking one. But like, I know, it's so upsetting.
Where's part 2?
Yeah, for real. Do like part 2.
We're better.
Because season 2 was so much better. So...
Listen. You are the bane of my existence and the
object of all my desires. Desires.
You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my
desires. I'm trying to marry your sister. Like, it would be amazing. We should we should write that.
We just did.
So they go to London. She gets a job with his mother, and she kind of says to him, like, pretty explicitly, like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to wear me down, and it won't work. And there's a few scenes.
What? Use my mother to get people to like me? No.
So there's a few scenes of them having, like, sexual tension. Where they're, like, in a garden.
And where Violet Bridgerton's like, is there sexual tension here, or is that just me?
Everybody knows. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, because she's now the lady's maid to Francesca and Eloise and Hyacinth.
And they get along.
Yeah, and they get along. And she's, like, invited to tea with them while she's
Which is totally outside the scope of her job requirements, mind you. So they're, like, inviting her of their own will because they like her. And they're like, so Benny Baby Boy gets a blue boner when he...
And it's so funny because Violet keeps asking him, like, who the fuck is she, Benedict? Like, seriously. And he's like, bro, I don't know. And
then, of course, when she finally knows and when he knows, she's like, oh, no wonder they look the same.
Yeah.
But she has boobs and long hair.
Yeah, but, like, it's so funny.
Recalling to earlier.
Because it's so funny because they have a whole conversation where Violet's like, Violet, Benedict's mother, is like, so, you know, she could be like a cast-off. There's 2 options. She could be like a cast-off relative.
Because at this point, they know she's illegitimate.
Yeah, that they know she's illegitimate, and also she, like, speaks French, because she was, like, reading French or something, so, like, and Violet knows based on how she talks, and, like, the fact that she knows French and is so educated.
The pronunciation of the French, too,
right? So she's so educated that she can't just be a regular lady's maid. Like, Sophie's cover story is that she, worked for a really nice family who let her be in her daughter's lessons.
Nope.
But everyone's kind of like, that's
people
a little...
aren't nice. The only people who are that nice are the Bridgertons.
Yeah, for real. And you wouldn't even be in that. You wouldn't be learning French. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a whole thing.
You'd be learning, please and thank you.
Yeah. So they don't buy it, but they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. So Violet's like determined to figure out who the fuck Sophie is by the end of the month, and she thinks she's either the cast-off daughter of a nobleman, meaning like she got pregnant and then like was disowned, or she's a bastard, which is what she is. And Benedict's like leaning more towards the I hope she's a bastard thing because it makes him kind of upset.
Because I don't want her tainted.
Yeah.
I want her to be what?
A virgin. Put another tile down.
That was already there, but whatever.
But I said another.
Mine just looks like...
You just gave up on yours.
Well, I won so early. I feel like the game had been...
It's like, it didn't matter. You got your celebratory yogurt to go with you.
I did.
So, like...
I'd also get my uncelebratory yogurt if I lost really quick, too. Basically, I'll just use any excuse to get yogurt.
I can't. So, like, there's a few scenes of them having sexual tension. They kiss a couple times.
Which is a what?
Scandal. We have so many tiles on the scandal board.
We need to shake this up and add some other stuff on here.
I know. I need to make a new one, but these are kind of basically like on all the books, so I feel like I can't get rid of them. But I need to make a new Bridger Go board.
But you need to have like certain things that are on like one, like a boat ride.
A boat ride, right? Okay, I'll try. In my infinite schedule, I'll try to make new ones for every episode. But and we'll put it in like a link or something so you can play.
We'll put it on www.stopthecoloryellow.com
and
then you can follow along.
Yeah, then you can play along. So she basically, like, after a really sexually charged moment, she's like, I need to get out of here. And she leaves. And she sees...
Who?
Araminta.
Oh my gosh, Esmeralda.
Araminta.
Aragon
and Posey and Rosamond live next door to the Bridgertons.
Because they just got reallocated.
Right, because the new Earl moved into the old house, and it's a whole thing.
And she's like, damn it.
Yeah, she's
damn it.
fuck
Fuck a duck.
which is a bigger deal because before she left, she stole shoe clips from Araminta and sold them to like make some money. So she's like in trouble because she knows Araminta noticed, and like it'll be a problem. And she
Because
doesn't.
we already mentioned her fascination with the Toesy Woesies.
The Toesy Woesies. When do you come up with this shit? Like, so yeah, she's like, fuck. So she sees Araminta and she gets like spooked. And
She's like, ah.
Benedict, following her as he usually does, is like, yo, are you okay? And she's like, in the street.
No.
And he's like, I live like a block away. Let's go to my house. And we all know it's like a ploy, but she's like, you know what? I'm fine.
Wow, 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 wow. I've been feeling sad.
Please do that again. Oh my god, that was amazing. I mean, really, so that was awesome. Ew, you sounded like Squirtle. But like, they're in Benedict's townhouse or whatever, and they're talking, and she won't tell him what freaked her out so much, and he's like, okay. And then eventually one thing leads to another, and they fuck. So put a tile down for hanky panky before marriage.
And let me tell you, this was a very spicy hanky-panky.
I actually love this scene.
It was a very nice hanky-panky.
It was great.
It was chef's kiss, but like...
Wow, we needed that. Okay, so I thought it was a great scene. I thought it was awesome.
That's what I was saying. Couldn't you tell by my punctuation of the...
No, I believe you. I just thought the kissing was a very interesting choice for you. But like it was actually it was kind of a nice scene. I'm not gonna lie.
It was also like a very tender,
it was really sweet,
sensual scene.
I really liked it.
Like they fucked with passion.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was like a passionate dicking down.
You felt like that they
special.
Yeah, it felt nice. I liked it, and I also love in these books when people have sex before marriage, because I feel like it's so scandalous. Put another tile on scandal. I love the scandal. And I'm like, yes. And this is the first book.
The tiles from each.
This is the first book in the series so far where they have sex before marriage. So I'm like, pretty.
The other guys have I fucked before marriage. Does that count?
No, I don't think it does.
Damn it.
But yeah, so they have sex, and it's actually really nice. And he assumes,
and she assumes,
because
she's like, oh shit, I'm pregnant now.
Well, no, not yet. So he assumes that she's saying yes to being his mistress because she was so adamant about like not having sex with him, and now she's given in, and he's like, oh, I'll go take you to my mother's to get your things. I know it'll be awkward, but it's fine. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like,
I'm still working for your mother.
Yeah, she's like, bro, I'm not going to be your mistress. And he's like,
but you just fucked me.
But we had sex.
Tender, passionate, loving sex.
On a couch. And like... I hate you. She just mouthed something. I can't. So she's like, sorry. And she's like, I won't have an illegitimate child. And I'm still about that. And he's like, dude, it might be a little late for that.
We might have already made an illegitimate child. And then he does like one of those weird dad poses like by her belly. He's like,
I don't think he does that, but
like he tenderly caresses her. No, he doesn't do this, but like you can just imagine that problem might be one that we can't worry about anymore. Caress the stomach.
He more stands there like bewildered and indignant. Like what the fuck are you talking about? And so he kind of leaves in a tiff. Like he's really mad. And so
tiff?
Yeah, he's
That's
like
a good word.
He's like
Is that what a tiff is?
They have a little tiff, like they're
a squabble.
Yeah, a little squabble. And she's like upset and he's upset and she's hoping she's not pregnant. And she goes and decides like, and so they don't talk for like weeks. And she's like, I can't be here anymore. So she quits. So she talks to Violet Bridgerton and she's like, I can't be here anymore. And Violet's like,
I fucked your son.
Well, it's kind of funny. And I love this trope. I love it. Like that she's talking to Violet and she says something and Violet's like, I see. And in the writing it says, and Sophie realized then that Violet did see.
She saw everything.
Like she knew.
She was under an x-ray machine.
She was like, oof.
I see the drugs in your
system. I see it. I know.
I see it as clear as you are blushing.
Yeah. So she's like, oof. So yeah, she's like, at least let me give you my carriage so you have like transportation to go wherever the fuck you're going. And so Sophie's waiting outside to get the carriage, and then Araminta spots her and she tries to run away, but then the police get her, and Araminta tells the police, or the bobbies as
the police
or the bobbies, that
I'm calling the weeds. 911, what's your emergency? 411, what's your emergency?
Yeah, so like
sorry, TikTok reference.
I know.
Once I start, I can't stop. Is that a weed? I'm calling the police. 411, what's your emergency?
So yeah, like Araminta tells the bobbies that Sophie's a criminal and stole from her, and that's the last we see of Sophie for a little while.
And they say, "Oh my gosh, it's a countess."
Yeah, and they believe her because
Count
Sophie.
us stupid if we don't believe her.
Yeah. Oh! So Benedict's having a time, and he has a whole conversation with his brothers, and then he has a whole conversation with his mom. Oh wait, no, she doesn't decide to leave yet. I totally skipped a whole big part. I'm sorry. So before she leaves, the cousins come over, like these Bridgerton cousins who are like little, and they go and play like blind man's bluff in the attic. And what are you doing? She looks so tired. So like,
no, I'm having a very sensual experience with my yogurt.
Gross. So like, they go play blind man's bluff, which is, if you don't know, it's like Marco Polo, but like not in a pool.
Blind man
Bluff. And so like Sophie's the one who's blindfolded, and Benedict, after having like a whole conversation with like his mom and his brothers about like marrying whoever he wants, because his mom kind of gives him permission. Like he says, what if I wanted to marry someone?
Bridgerton.
Queen.
Extra bingo card for how she is literally the best person ever.
Yeah.
Throw all your cards.
There needs to be another space that says Violet Bridgerton being a queen.
Every Bridgerton book so far, this is a trend. Violet, superior.
Yeah, she's a queen.
Violet is a MILF.
Yeah, she's awesome. But in the book, she's way better than in the show. This is the one time I'll say...
She's a MILF.
MILF. This is the one time I'll say the book actually has better characterization than the show, because in the show, like, Violet's favorite is clearly Daphne, and in the book that's not true. Like, she loves all her kids, and it's really nice.
It's abundantly clear. Like, we can tell that she loves Anthony, like when it's Anthony's season, and I feel like we're gonna get more of that when it's Colin's season, and so on and so forth. But like,
yeah, Violet's awesome.
She scolds him. Like, you can see like little banter that they don't go into explicit detail with. It's so cute. But Violet Bridgerton, I'd hit that.
But yeah, she's
a widow.
Yeah, she's a widow. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you got it. She's open. She's free.
Wow.
Sorry, Edmund. Don't go near any more bees.
I'm not so sorry. I'm not afraid of bees because
I'm not allergic to bees.
Because I'm not a pussy.
Yeah. Don't be. Stop. So like,
I'm sorry. I'm getting you flowers, and then I proceed to die.
Sorry. That's on me. But like, she kind of like gives Benedict permission to be with Sophie, because she kind of says, I'll love you no matter what. Like, you'll have a hard life. Because he doesn't say explicitly her, but he's like, what if I married someone from like not of our class, like the servant class? And she kind of gets it. And she's like, look, you'd have a hard life and society would probably be really mean to you, but I wouldn't care.
Because she wouldn't, because she's a good person.
Yeah, because she wants her children to be happy. And he's like determined. He's like decided he's going to ask Sophie to marry him.
At the end of the day, even with all the subplots and side plots that season 2 introduced, like, Violet Bridgerton at the end of the day is her children's biggest advocate.
Right. She's great in the books. So like, Benedict decides, he's like, I'm going to go against society. I'm going to ask Sophie to marry me. And then he goes upstairs and he sees her playing blind man's bluff, where she has that thing over her eyes.
And he's like,
oh,
I know that cheekbone.
I know that face.
That jaw.
That jawline.
That sternocleidomastoid.
It's like in Batman. There's something about that chin. Like, it's like that. So he's like, oh my God. Shit. It's her. And when he gets so mad, he gets so mad. And in all fairness,
I would get mad.
I understand why he's upset. I kind of get why he's mad.
I would get mad at myself.
Well,
if I were Sophie, I'd be like, shit, I should have told him. And if I was him, I'd be like,
what the fuck?
Shit, she should have told me.
He does overreact a little bit, because she does kind of...
Because he's a man.
Yeah, because he's a man. So, like, she does
in Regency romance novels. Yeah. Of course he overreacts.
Yeah, his pride is wounded. She does kind of explain, which is why he overreacts, but I get why he's mad. Because he's like, what the fuck? I searched for you for years. I was literally like obsessed with you for like 6 months. And what the fuck? And you were literally under my lap this whole time, and we had sex, and you still never told me that you were the same person. Because the only thing holding me back from asking you to marry me was that I was hung up on this other person who happened to be you.
But she didn't also know that. So
I know she didn't, but like I kind of get why he's frustrated. He does overreact, but I get why he's frustrated.
Yeah.
So he kind of leaves, and Sophie thinks it's over, so that's why she leaves. And so then that whole thing happens with Araminta, where she leaves, and Araminta catches her on the street, and then Benedict has this like whole conversation with his brothers, and then he realizes he's being a stupid head.
He is a stupid head.
And he
is
goes...
this also where the other conversation happens?
What other conversation? Which one? No, that was in the second book.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. I think
Did I mention that?
We didn't mention that in the second book then.
Okay, so by the way, I don't know if we mentioned it in the last podcast, but in the second book...
Which is what I just mouthed to her.
Yeah, but in the second book, there's a whole conversation that Colin has with Antony, where he's like, I'm not going to marry Penelope Featherington, which is a lead into the fourth book, and Penelope's like standing there, and he realizes he just said that in front of her, and she gets like all like...
I never asked you to marry me.
Yeah, so that's relevant for the next one, but so that doesn't happen in this one. I forgot,
that's my bad.
Yeah. It doesn't happen in this one. Penelope's not really in this one. She's only kind of mentioned because they...
Neither's Lady Danbury.
Lady Danbury's not really in this one either. Yeah, that's right.
R.I.P. in peace, Lady Danbury.
I know. Poor Lady Danbury.
Pour one out.
Mm-hmm. It's real sad. I think she's at the masquerade, but I don't remember. Masquerade.
Continue.
So yeah, Benedict comes to his senses and he's like, I'm gonna go apologize to Sophie, and then he realizes what happened. So like, long story short, he figures out that she's in jail. And she's sitting rotten in prison. And then they come to rescue her after she's talking to Araminta, and she's like basically saying to Araminta, like, what the fuck, like, why do you hate me? And Araminta's like, just because I do. And
Violet Bridgerton comes in and blackmails her.
Yeah, Violet Bridgerton comes in and blackmails her basically.
She's like, you're a shit person, I'm a good person, I'm gonna tell everyone, and no one's gonna care that you're a countess.
Yeah. Oh, and also she did admit after he found out who she was that she was the bastard of an earl, so that kind of actually puts her a little bit more like, she could dare to dream, you know what I mean? Like, if society would still gossip, but at least she's not like a nobody.
And doesn't she also find out about her dowry in this occasion?
Right, so she does. She finds out about the diary because Posey comes in. This is the nice sister, the nice stepsister, and she says that she's the one...
Call back to earlier, I'm not too drunk.
She's the one, she says that she stole the shoe clips instead of Sophie. She's like, oh, for God's sake, I stole the shoe clips. And it's a whole thing, and so... She gets Sophie out of jail. Posey leaves her mother. The Bridgertons offer Posey a place to stay for the time being. Do we ever see Posey again?
Absolutely amazing.
Do we ever see Posey again? No. But
it's nice because we can just imagine she's another faceless servant.
Yeah. I mean, in the second epilogue that Julia Quinn wrote for the series, she wrote like the Bridgertons happily ever after. Like Posey comes back and it turns out she got married and had her own kid and whatever.
Good for Posey.
Yeah, good for Posey. I mean,
full of Posey.
Yeah, she's good for Posey. I mean, she named the kid like Araminta and calls her Minty.
Ew.
Calls her Minty.
I forgot about that.
Which is really fucking stupid, but whatever. I hope Minty comes
Fucked
back.
Up too.
Spin off for Minty. I want to see what happens to Minty.
How traumatized she is knowing that her grandmother is a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Sophie slaps her, I think, at one point. Slaps Araminta and is like, that's for not loving your children equally. And I was like, yes. That was awesome.
Rory's like, I can relate.
I can't believe you just said that. Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm so sorry.
So like,
I don't believe that. I just thought it'd be an easy dig.
Oh my goodness gracious. So
I'm eating my yogurt now. Continue.
Oh my god. You can hear the clanking of your yogurt. I just want you to know that. They know exactly that you're like at the bottom of your yogurt. So she goes off with Benedict and she goes back to his place and Violet's like, be back by 7, and she doesn't. No, they just fuck.
Have sex on
so
the
more
couch
than
again.
one hanky-panky scene.
Don't they do it on the couch?
No, they do it in the bed. Or
the bed.
She takes a bath. And then they have sex.
So she's all wet.
Yeah, you don't really see it. I'm gonna say it counts because it's like she wakes up naked and it's implied. I'm gonna say it counts, but you don't really see it. Like
at this point, are they forced to be married?
I would say forced marriage is probably a thing because they have to get married in 2 weeks, so there's not a scandal. So I'm gonna say it counts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it counts. Forced marriage on the bingo board. So yeah, they have their thing, and then they eventually get married, and like everything's cool, and it's great. And then they have in their epilogue, which
they live happily ever after.
Actually, you know what I think is really cute? So I really hope they do this in the show, that like Antony has a son in the show who they name Edmund, because I thought that was great in the book, that their first son is named Edmund after his dad. And I really hope...
has a son named Anthony, right?
He does. But I think that what's better, I hope in the show that when they actually do get to Benedict's season, I hope that all of them have boys, because they introduced that Daphne has a boy. In the book, she has girls first. But because they've established this in the show,
What's the girl's name again?
The girl's name was Amelia. And then they call him Augie in the show. But like, I hope that the show has like all boys, that like, I know they're doing Colin's season next, which I'll talk about, but they're doing Colin's season next instead of Benedict's. I hope that if they talk about Colin and Penelope having kids in season 4, that it's another boy, because I love that Benedict names his daughter Violet. So I hope that they change it in the show, that Benedict's first child is a girl named Violet, instead of like his last kid, because in the book he has like 4 boys and then their 5th kid is Violet. But I hope it's the other way around. Like I hope all 3 like Violet, that Daphne, Antony, and Colin all have boys first, and then Benedict's the first one to have a girl named Violet. I think that'd be so cute.
Because even in the show, you can see like Violet takes like a special liking to Benedict, in the sense that she recognizes he's an eccentric soul, and he's like kind of quirky and out there and
charming and all that stuff. So now we have
also that he's got like a bunch of stuff going on.
Right. But like, I think
she knows that with her other kids, but like Benedict is more, I don't know how to say, like openly flawed.
Yeah.
You can kind of see when he's struggling. Yeah. If that makes sense.
No,
where everyone
get that.
else kind of hides it, and so you kind of like take pity on the people who openly struggle. As someone who openly struggles.
Yeah. So I really, 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 really hope that they do that.
Can you say that again?
Really. I really, really hope that they do that. But they never do anything I want them to do.
Don't do it.
Case in point, they're doing... Okay. So for those of you who are following, obviously, this is the 3rd episode of
And we've probably mentioned it for the 90th time.
That this is the 3rd episode.
But we're still mad!
Because this is the 3rd book in the series.
It goes
now the
Daphne,
show,
Anthony, Benedict, Colin,
Eloise, Francesca, Hyacinth, and Gregory. So they don't go in alphabetical order, but that's the order of the series. And the show,
fuck it up.
The show is doing for season 3, book 4.
Yeah.
When
there's necessary things that happen in book.
I have so many problems with this, and I will tell you why. People were up in arms, like saying like, what's the big deal, whatever, like because it's an adaptation. Like, fuck you. I hate when people say it's an adaptation. My biggest pet peeve ever, because if you are making something that's based on a book, do the fucking book or make your own shit.
Like, you can go all Vampire Diaries on it, but at least like have the rough like plot line the same. Like rough. I'm saying like bare bones. Like they're not even having like they better not fucking make Benedict and Sophie like a side plot in season 3, because I will shit a chicken.
No, I won't be happy with that. I'm not even happy that they're pushing it off, because here's my theory. I told you this. I'm going to tell everyone now. I think what the reason they're doing it, even though I don't like it, and I think the reason I'm so mad about it is because I love the 3rd book so much, and I'm pissed I have to wait like 3 more years to see that season come out if they do it. First of all, I hate Colin, and I also hate Penelope in the show.
Yeah, like Penelope in the show sucks.
She's the worst. I don't want to see her be happy. She's a fucking asshole.
She needs time to redeem herself.
Yeah, like she needs that time.
And in season 2, she does not deserve to be redeemed.
No, she doesn't deserve happiness after season 2. She needs that season to get better.
If anything, they need a time jump, and the time jump they really need for is to establish Benedict and Sophie.
And in the books, there's a time jump of like 10 years from the time from what would be season 1 to Penelope's own season. Which
so this is now the next year. It's
only been
season.
2 years now.
Yeah.
Which
so
is
they're
ridiculous.
They're gonna fucking jump forward 8 years when they haven't set up Benedict and Sophie.
No, they're probably not.
But that's my point. Like, if we're thinking about in terms of the book, like, we need 8 years worth of development in no time.
Right, I agree with you.
I've seen like the previews. Like, they're like my coworker. She's like, "Did you see that they're filming for season 3?" She's it's like the thing where they like switch it from 2 to 3.
Yeah,
which is really cute. It's fine, great, but.
Luke Thompson was robbed.
He was robbed.
Yeah, you're trying to give 10 years worth of character development to a character after 2.
when she did arguably much worse.
Much worse, because in the books, her being Lady Whistledown, Lady Whistledown's more fun. Like, Lady Whistledown is not really...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. Spoiler alert. But at this point, you know, because if you've seen the show, it's after season 1 that they spoil it. But Penelope's Lady Whistledown, and Lady Whistledown in the books is just a fun gossip columnist. Like, she never reveals anything that's like life ruining.
She insinuates scandal, but she never like
she's not life ruining.
It never goes to the point where Eloise's entire reputation is like on the brink of complete and total collapse.
Like, she never betrays anyone. The only people she slanders are like people like Cressida or like people who deserve it. Like, she's never ruined anybody's life who didn't deserve it.
That's what Cressida claimed to be Lady Whistledown.
Right. So she never destroyed anybody's life who didn't deserve it. And I get, for the sake of the show, that they would want to make it a little more spicy, that she was a little more bearing on the plot, which is fine. But then you can't
give her the arc the immediate next season. You need
time. She
you
needs to redeem herself.
Time.
And it would have worked out so perfect, because my theory was, after I even watched season 1, like, I was trying to figure out, based on how they did season 1, how they were going to do like the rest of the seasons. And my theory was like, oh, after I watch season 2, this will be great, because what'll end up happening is Eloise and her on the outs, if you've seen season 2, and Benedict goes missing, like, quote unquote, and Lady Whistledown reports it in the book. She's like, nobody's seen or heard from Benedict Bridgerton for like for like weeks. What's going on? So I thought what they were going to do,
he's in the country.
Yeah, he's in the country being sick, so nobody's of course heard from him. So what I thought they were going to do is that people are going to get worried about him, and Eloise would have to come crawling back to Penelope to help their friendship and be like, look, my brother's missing, can you use Lady Whistledown to find him?
And then that's where they kind of rekindle their friendship. A lot of stuff happens, and like
it would have been so perfect.
And I know how Eloise was technically redeemed in the eyes of the public at the end of the second season, but again, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Technically, she was. It was resolved, but in a non-technical sense, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
I really think that they completely screwed it over. I think that they really needed to go with the original. I think Colin needed more time because
he's not mature enough.
One of his last lines to Penelope, and I get there's a suspension of belief when it comes to like watching shows and reading books, but when you go from saying I don't like you to like in any romantical sense to then the next season being based on you, it's kind of ridiculous. And especially when there's a more feasible option, which is introduce Benedict's love interest, namely Sophie.
Right. And they are so like self-contained. Like, Benedict and Sophie's story is so self-contained because they're with each other most of the book. You could have everybody else's side plot going on seamlessly at the same time.
Exactly.
Because their main plot doesn't interfere with any side plots at all.
And it's fucking ridiculous.
Like, unlike in Antony's book, like, they had to change a lot of stuff for the side plots to work. Benedict and Sophie are off in the country most of the book, so any side plot you do with the rest of the characters would not interfere with the main plot at all.
Or it would be Sophie back at the new like Bridgerton headquarters with the other girls dealing with whatever shit is going on.
Right.
Like, there's no need. And then it could even go through like seeing Eloise and Penelope become friends again and incorporate and actually give a personality to Francesca. Like,
well, I think this season they're going to introduce Francesca's first husband. Because if the way the timeline works, because she would probably be season 6.
But they said F the timeline.
I know they said F the timeline, but the only way for it to be like feasible would be for them to introduce him this season.
It's just
you know what I'm saying.
It's a whole can of worms.
And also they recast Francesca, which gives me the indication that like they have more to do for her this season.
They did. If anyone didn't know that, they did recast Francesca.
She looks fine. I don't care. Like,
she looks fine, especially because she didn't really have much of a thing, but they did recast her, which, like you're saying, it gives an indication that there could be more.
They're doing more with her.
Yeah.
But I am so indignant because I think also, and this was my big theory I was going to say before, but I think what they're probably going to do, and we'll see. I think there's 2 big reasons why maybe they did this switch. I don't think they're going to do all 8 seasons of Bridgerton.
They can't.
I don't think the actors want to stay on for 10 years.
I don't think we can expect them to stay on for 10 years.
Netflix isn't reliable with that. I just don't think that it's going to be feasible for them to do all 8 years. So I feel like I always had a weird sinking feeling because they only renewed it up to season 4. And even after season 2, they didn't renew a season 5. They still only have seasons 3 and 4. I feel like the way it's going, I could see them ending the show after season 4. Like maybe doing a season 5 just for Eloise.
I think that okay, I told you, I have a coworker who has not read the books, has watched the show, loves the show, loves the first season, like adores the second season. Like second is like peak like show for her, and she is so excited for Penelope and Colin. So if that's we are in the minority of people who have read and watched and are avid.
I don't know, because I read a lot of you, dude. I scrolled through those comments on Instagram.
But the people who want to comment are the people who really like it, and the people who really like it have either something to say or are neutral.
Yeah.
So like, at least from my perspective, and I've seen people like at work, and I've asked people like, especially during release day, none of them have really read the books, but they love it so far, and they're very excited for Penelope and Colin. So I feel like if Penelope and Colin goes well, if this is taken well by the mass public, it could be picked up for a season 5. That's my firm belief. If season 3 goes well with the masses, not looking at the niche amount of book readers, because we are in that niche, so we see it easier. I think it could be picked up for season 5, and I really hope.
My point in saying that is more like, I think they'll maybe do a season 5 because it's Eloise. Or if
people want to resolve for Eloise.
People want Eloise, but I think really like emotionally, because I feel like if they do a season 5, it'll be phoned in, and that'll be the last season, just to give Eloise like a finish line. You know what I mean?
Then they need to really develop like the other characters.
But what I think is the reason why, because it makes literally no logical sense to do Colin and Penelope first. What I think the reason is if they switch it, because I think they want to emotionally end with season 4. And I think they'll get bullied into doing a season 5 for Eloise alone. I think
she deserves it.
Benedict and Sophie's story is a better season, like series finale season. Does that make sense?
It's a classic fairy tale ending,
right? And I think that people will want to see, like, who haven't read the books, like a resolution to Colin and Penelope. Although I don't know why, because they have no chemistry at all.
Because people love Penelope. They love the girl
I don't know why.
What is it? Gatekeep, girl boss, girl slay.
Yeah, like it's
gatekeep,
gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that thematically, Benedict and Sophie's whole story is a lot better to end the show on.
Which I guess I can see as a consumer, not like separating myself from the books, but I feel like it's
so like, and I think that my theory was that what I thought was going to happen at the end of season 2, I think is actually going to happen at the end of season 3.
We're just pushing back each of
and I'll tell you why. It makes actually a lot of sense. So spoiler, and obviously we're going to do a podcast on it, so it's going to be spoiled anyway. So for book 4, one of the big climax of book 4 is at a ball. Yeah. Where Penelope reveals that she's Lady Whistledown. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to make that ball the masquerade ball.
Which would kind of alleviate their faux pas.
Yeah, I feel like if they do that, I will be less mad.
Because then you can see like the progression of hair. And like, I really like how Bridgerton stylists do like the hair and makeup and outfit and accessories. And like they bring that into the character development.
Right.
So then it really gives Benedict and Sophie time to start at the masquerade ball, and through time, like
waiting for the next season
without artificial CGI,
you'll have a natural time jump.
I really enjoy when that happens, but I thought it could have been anyway. Yes,
they could have done it for season 2, but they just didn't. I guess
they didn't, because honestly, a lot of people love Penelope and Colin. I've seen more people.
I don't fucking understand why.
I don't either, but a lot of people, like I said, haven't read the books.
I get that, but at the same time, I feel like it's stupid to
It is stupid.
It's stupid for writers to go off of people who don't know what's coming. Do you know what I mean? Because people who did read the books know, like, that what ended up happening was better. Because I feel like when you're not in the loop, you're making like assumptions, or you're making theories, or you're having opinions without the hindsight.
Yeah, but then that brings in just Hollywood like culture in general.
Yeah, believe me, I fucking hate Hollywood. Like,
fuck Hollywood.
Because here's my thing.
You cannot exist
here's my
anymore.
Thing.
Thank you.
I'm okay. I said it last podcast. I was okay with the changes they made to season 2 because I understood why they made them. The difference, though, is as a book reader at heart, it still bothered me in some capacity that it wasn't accurate to the book, because my sort of mentality is like, if you don't want to do the book, make your own shit. Like, nobody has a monopoly on Regency era romance. You literally could have just done your own fucking thing.
I just bought another one today.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have just done your own thing. Like, if you're doing something based on a book, do the fucking book. And I hate when people say it's an adaptation. I'm like, no.
It's loosely inspired by the book at this point.
Yeah,
you can't credit Julia Quinn in this anymore.
Yeah, like, it's getting insulting. So for me personally, I feel like, and I've said this before, and I did like my own sort of like video on it in my own time, just talking about the season. Bio. I do think that the people who write the show have read the books,
because they referenced the Mallet of Death early in the first season.
Right.
They referenced things in the second.
And even the second season, they tried their hardest to incorporate the things that they knew the fans wanted to see from the second book.
From Benedict.
Even though they had to, like, change the format because they didn't want to repeat the first season.
Correct.
You know, so I'm really, really hoping desperately that this was a stylistic choice that they thought was best for the story. I don't think I agree, but maybe there's something I'm missing. And I think that if they have the masquerade ball be like the last episode where Benedict meets Sophie, they will redeem themselves. Because
even a little bit in ours.
Yeah, a little bit. I'll be a little more okay with it.
Please take us into consideration. We know you're filming, but change it up now.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I'm not really going to enjoy season 3. I'm going to see season 3 like I saw season 1, where I couldn't give less of a shit about like the main romance, but I really enjoyed the side plots, and that's really what got me through the season, because I can't stand Colin in the books. I can't stand him on the show. I hate Penelope on the show, and I only marginally liked her in the books. I liked her in the books only because I felt sorry for her.
And you know what? The reason you don't like Colin in the books is because of the next book, mostly, right? Right?
He's a fucking tool in that book.
And what's next on our podcast schedule?
Romancing Mr. Bridgerton.
Right.
We'll talk more about it there, but I'm telling you, I'm so
Which I am
pissed.
leading, so wish me luck.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. I am beyond pissed at what they're doing with this season. I'm so upset.
You're beyond pissed with this season, but you are beyond in love with this book.
I love this book so much. I know it's stupid. I know it's cheesy, but like, I just really liked it. I liked how she handled the Cinderella retelling. I really like how...
Take a shot.
I just thought, in the best way, like, it's, you know, you get what you pay for. Like, it's not Shakespeare.
And it was $4.99 plus tax.
Yeah, you know, so it's fine. But I think, like, it had a lot of emotion to it. And and I get this mentality of, like, oh, people didn't read the books, but when you go by people who did read the books, this is one of their favorites. Like, this is up
consistently.
There. I'm not the only one.
The second, the third, and the seventh are consistently up there.
Yeah, like up there with people's favorites.
The Duke and I is usually last.
Like, The Duke and I is not like...
On the Way to the Wedding.
It's technically the most popular because people start with the first one and then either don't finish the series.
It's like how a Harry Potter musical is like the most viewed Star Kid production of all time, but there are much better songs in AVPM later.
Yeah, like if you're into the fandom and stuff, you know, like, so people have read the first one the most, but because that's usual for a series, people usually read the first one the most because they don't finish the series. So like, anybody who's read all the books, like, the third one ranks so high, and I'm like, guys, please, we really want to see. And every comment on Instagram was like, Benedict got robbed. Like, fuck you guys. I'm like, I agree. You robbed Benedict, and you set him up so perfectly, like you were saying, for the next season.
I know.
It makes no sense.
Because I'm smart and I know what's happening.
Oh my god,
I definitely know what's happening, and I'm not drunk.
It makes no sense. I can't say it enough. I'm just so mad. I can't get over it. And I know in the future people will be saying like how much they love the third season and like how wrong I am, but you know what? I don't fucking care because so mad.
Right now we're looking at from the single-sided perspective of having read the book and not being provided with that book as an immediate adaptation when chronologically it should be.
And it's no hate to the actors. Like, I don't have a problem with them.
I think
I love Nicola Coughlan. I think she's great.
She's amazing.
Her character sucks.
I love her in Dairy Girls. I think she's an amazing actress with a lot of range. I love the guy who plays Colin. I think he makes him a tool in the show and not in the show. So like,
Colin is a fucking tool. I hate him in the book and I hate him in the show.
And you know what?
Because you know why? And this was what I was going to say before. Sorry to interrupt you, but before I forget, because I was going to say this before and then I forgot. The reason why is that in the show, they make him so much more heinous than he is in the books. Because in the book, when Colin said, I will never marry Penelope Featherington, it was because his brother was teasing him, and it was just them. And he kind of
But
said,
when it comes to the show,
Right, but
he just said it in front of friends
he
for
was like-
unprovoked.
yeah, he was like bro talking. Like, tell me like there isn't a difference between being like teasing with your sibling and being like, dude, I am never going to date this person. Leave me alone. And
Yeah.
then them actually being there and you being like, and he even was embarrassed. He was like, Penelope, I'm so sorry. Like, I did, like, he was so like,
He was apologetic after she was found out, but in the show, it was like...
in the show, he was like talking with his bros like a fucking douchebag.
And
like,
I really...
Penelope, not a chance.
And
like,
look-
what an asshole.
And like we said, they had 10 years to establish this arc in the book, which we will get to next time. And they have not that much time to get to it in the show. So the stakes are high.
Yeah, the stakes
Stakes are high.
I
And the
love
stakes
this
are
book.
even higher.
I hope you guys love this book. I'm still anxious for Benedict's season to come out. I've been waiting for it since the first season.
I also hope you love this podcast.
You do the outro. I'm too mad to continue.
I can tell. I'm trying to help you out. We really hope you enjoyed this. We really hope you enjoyed our little rant about season 2/3 and where we're going from here. We hope you enjoy Rory's favorite book. We hope you enjoy our
second
podcast.
favorite, technically.
Okay.
It's my favorite in
You
my heart.
interrupted my beautiful outro. I wasn't mumbling or stumbling or saying incorrect vowels once.
Sorry.
Here we go. Thank you
wanna
for
try again?
Yeah, not from the beginning, but thank you for coming in. Thank you for staying with us if you stayed here this long. We will come out with another video, and the next one is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, or as we personally will refer to it on my computer as Romancing the Bridgerton Bussy.
The Bridget to Pussy. And keep an eye out for our weekly have and have not segments.
Yes, we're doing Throne of Glass, and we're doing Percy Jackson right now. And you can also check us out on www.stopthecoloryellow.com. And we will really hate the color yellow after next week.
Follow our Instagram too, Rory and Ronnie.
Rory and Ronnie on Instagram.
Yeah. See you
and
guys.
YouTube. Outro.
Awkward.
Bye.
Flawless.